Welcome to the vibrant world of the brand new So Ionic Botanicals website. Are you ready to take your health to the next level with us? If so, let's dive in and explore our exciting new website together. First, let me introduce you to our premier product, Nessuit Nectar Stingless Bee Honey. With raving reviews and testimonials, which you can watch right here, Nessuit Nectar is a must-try item in our collection. Next, unlock the ancient wisdom of nature with our sacred herbs, a unique collection of rare, powerful herbs sourced from the heart of Honduras and Mexico and designed to elevate your wellness journey. Scroll down to the bottom of this page to find our social media links. Make sure to follow us on all platforms to stay updated on our latest products and special offers. Now, let's head over to the product page. Click on products to unveil hidden treasures like beefy tea, a bitter crafted from over 10 indigenous Honduran herbs. Once you've made your selections, hop over to the cart and finalize your purchase to bring the best of nature into your life. Don't forget to check out our media page. This is where you can subscribe to our Patreon and YouTube for exclusive content on various health topics. Curious about the brains behind So Ionic Botanicals? Head to the About page to meet our founder, KT the Arch Degree, and discover the passion driving our mission. Got questions or just want to say hello? Our contact page is just a click away. Reach out to us with any inquiries and we'll be more than happy to assist you. We are thrilled to have you here with us and we sincerely appreciate your support and business. Thank you for choosing So Ionic Botanicals and we look forward to helping you see the world more clearly.
All right. Peace to the family. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I guess Merry Christmas to those who celebrate the holidays. For those who don't, what's up to y'all? We on it's December 24th right now. What's going on with y'all in the chat? What's going on? Want to do a quick Q&A with y'all. I see now, I'm a listener to Math Hoffa podcast. I listen to this podcast a lot. And I see what happened with Fat Joe, and I'm like, damn, I want to talk to the family about it and get your opinion about just all the talk going around in terms of foundational Black Americans and just the whole topic that's circulating right now. So we just gonna have a good lighthearted conversation tonight, and it's a Q&A. It's a live Q&A. So feel free to I posted the link at the top of the chat, so you could click on that link and just talk for a little while, chop it up with y'all for a little while, see what's going on. Oh, see, this is what I'm talking about. I done got a early from the Saturn God. This is a message from me from the Saturn, a symbolic message from Saturn. I got a $100 donation. Happy holidays. Hey, I appreciate it. T. Thomas, the resurrected Saturn God. I really appreciate it. You hear me? Really appreciate it. All right. Happy holidays to you and your family as well. I hope everybody's enjoying these days, these holidays, holy days, whatever you want to call it with your family. I hope everybody's having a good December. I'm preparing for 2025. We're going into this 9-year. Things are moving so fast, y'all. I mean, super, super duper fast. So, yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, let's get in terms of what's going on, it's very interesting. And shout out to King Simon. I seen King Simon in the chat as well. Oh, Raul Nefa. Somebody said, what happened to the Raul Nefa Amen talk? He canceled family-related issues. So we're going to reschedule. Hopefully the brother will be available next week, but he had to cancel. I was locked and loaded, ready to go, but the brother canceled, and he said he'll be available next week. All right. Oh, King Simon said, we in the Nation of Islam did security for brand Nubian. Okay. Hey, let's get this talk started, though. In terms of Fat Joe, what he said, a lot of people considered it disrespectful on the Math Hoffa podcast. I think they even edited some of it out and, started talking shit about Lord Jamal. And the reason why I'm bringing this topic up is because one of the things I noticed, one of the themes for this year and last year, is I noticed there's this resurrection of consciousness with people will call Black Americans. And if you notice, we didn't hear this talk years ago, and it extends in. I interview a lot of people, so it extends way beyond the foundational Black Americans, if y'all notice, Rod Hayes and the whole America thing and him, Rod Hayes came on the scene 3 years ago, right? And Rod Hayes is repping this America thing hard. We indigenous. The brother RFG that's on my platform. There's so many people that's on the internet now. We're hearing this. There's things people hear now that they haven't heard before. The whole Egypt is in America, or America came before Egypt. Or I remember when I came into consciousness, y'all. Everybody marveled at Egypt. Egypt was like, oh my God. It was like, you want to wear a shirt, you want to have an Egyptian name. Everything was Kemet, 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 Kemet. In the last 3 years, it's like you feel the collective consciousness, especially with Black Americans. It's like, nah, we ain't on Egypt like that. We had it popping over here. The pyramids is over here. People started talking about the Grand Canyon, how that's connected to ancient Egypt. People started talking about on Stone Mountain in Florida and this and that. So it's like it's coming from different directions. There's something spiritually happening with the mindset of Black Americans, and it's coming from different areas of consciousness. The whole foundational Black Americans and Tariq, what he represents, huge. That's huge. You got Rod Hayes all over the internet with the he's indigenous to America. He ain't from Africa. Huge. And you got people everywhere talking about like, nah, we was here first. We was here. And consciousness was the whole Pan-African thing and Black consciousness. When I came, everything was about we from Africa. That was the whole thing, was about we from Africa. That was the whole thing. And it's very interesting to see things shift, the way that it shifted. So it's like, wow, I want to have a talk with y'all. And, you know, I want to get like a speaker on, but I'm like, you know what? A couple of speakers wasn't available tonight. I'm like, let me talk to the family. I want to hear what y'all got to say, what y'all think. Oh, Rod finally got them. Rod did a show with LeBron. Good. Excellent. You know, when I was in LeBron, I was supposed to give Rod LeBron's number, and I completely forgot. So I'm glad that happened. Shout out to LeBron and Rod Hayes. If you did not see it, head over to her YouTube channel to check it out. Yeah. Somebody said the shift is interesting. It's very different from the 90s. You just said very from the 90s, but it's very, very, very different from the 90s. I mean, completely different from what I originally came into. And you know, I'm Black American, so I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, you know, I'm like, what? I'm like, word? America's older than Egypt? Word? We was popping like that over here. Word? Because before it was just about the Moors was talking about the slave trade and how that was, it really didn't happen like that. But it got way bigger than what the Moors were talking about. And so many different people are talking about it now. So shout out to the Moors and everybody. I'm not here to, you know, talk about this or that, different groups, but you know, Moors been talking about it. Rod Hayes came on the scene heavy talking about it. Tariq talked about it. A lot of people. So I'm, like I said, I want to hear what y'all got to say about this topic and and just the whole foundational American. Is the word, you know, the majority of the world, it's a phrase that's growing and people are hearing it. I heard Paul Wall say it. He was on the Breakfast Club and he was like, yeah, the FBAs. And you know, for the most part, because of what happened with the Democrats, a lot of people watch Tariq Nasheed, number one. I mean, he is one of the biggest influencers in the grassroots. So a lot of people in mainstream culture watch him. So I know they know about the term, but the average American doesn't know. So it's only going to grow and grow and grow. And I'm just wondering where all of this is going. It's very interesting. I'm proud of a lot of Black Americans and there's different names, you know. I mean, this is the thing. Rod Hayes would have a different name and the Moors would have a different name, Tariq, but we're all people indigenous to this land. You know what I'm saying? People, I need you just text me. Call in, God. Is this call in? Call in, my brother Ani. I hope I'm saying your name right. I keep chopping up your name. Call in, my brother. Let me text you right now. I'm doing a live Q&A. I would love for you to call in because I'm talking to the people. I want to get what the people got, and I would love to hear what you got to say. Yeah, I would love to hear what you got to say. All right. But yeah, this is something that is growing, and yeah, Dan Calloway talk. Damn, they said Dan. Dan Calloway talks about it. This is what I'm saying. It's all over the internet, but it's different names. But basically, it's talking about the indigenous people here in America, and I guess the people when you say foundational Black Americans. Hold up, let me see what my brother got to say. I gotta add, damn. I gotta send my brother this link. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let's I'm trying to tell my brother to call in now because I would love to hear what he got to say. Let's get Ascendant Infinite Goddess on the chat while we start this thing.
Hold on, babe. Hey, how are you?
Hey, what's going on, Queen? How you doing?
Good. Sorry, I had to get away from the noise.
Yeah, brother, Curry Moore. I hope I'm not chopping his name up either. But he talks about it also. He talks about the Black indigenous presence in America, and yeah. So yeah. I mean, it's very interesting, and it's a powerful topic, and it's something that's growing. What King Simon said, I'm wondering why Tariq Nasheed would do movies about Haiti and Maroons, Caribbean, and then disrespect them at the same time. I mean, King, you could call in too and voice your opinion. So yeah, Ascending Infinite Goddess. What is going on, Queen? How you doing? Happy holidays to you and the family. What's going on with y'all?
Yes. Happy holidays to you as well. You and the whole your growing family.
The growing family, yes, the growing.
You loving all them. Take every moment in. Take every moment in. It's so beautiful. But I am speaking. I am not foundationally Black. Mm-hmm. I was born here in Florida. Right. But my parents are Jamaican. My grandparents are Cuban. They're Indian, but we do have lineage, right, that traces back to the Americas. Just somewhere they migrated to the Caribbean, and they went through some of the same plights that Americans did. But I was always told, at least on my father's side, that we should be proud of our heritage, like no matter what it is that we know. And what I say sometimes can be controversial on this topic, but in reality, it doesn't really matter where you're from. It doesn't matter where you're from because it's all one big melting pot. So yes, know your history. Yes, know your lineage, but if sometimes we don't know, because we have to break free from that. There's places, there's experiences that you have to break free from your lineage, right? So be a planetarian, because this life cycle is finite, right? It has an ending, but your soul is infinite, right? So there's times where you may have been here in the Americas, but there's times you may have come from the Mediterranean. There's times where you could have been in the Caucasus Mountains as well, right? Everything just blends in and meshes together. But the more complex your melanin compound is, the more boundless, beautiful, in depth that you are, right? So foundationally Black or not, like, it's not really something for people to be divisive about, just like reparations. You're not going to get that land and the mule that they owe you. You're not going to get the money back. They're not going to cut the taxes. They're not going to do that, because their game, they know they're playing a long game. When I say they, I mean the ones that have assumed the power that we keep agreeing and relinquishing our power to. the inorganic ones, the unrighteous ones, right? Their game is to keep you suppressed. So the more you sit here and fight about who's foundationally Black, where is this and where is that, right? Yes, history is important, but it shouldn't be to the point where it's so divisive. It gets you so worked up and so emotional, right? If you don't get it this life cycle, you'll get it another life cycle. Or maybe you're not supposed to get it at all, period, right? But there's so much more for us to dive into, to study, to learn about than, who's foundationally Black, who has this, who's been through more trauma, who's been through less trauma. Like, let it go.
Let me ask you a question, Ascending Infinite Goddess. Do you have an issue with Black Americans fighting for reparations?
I do not have an issue with that. I feel that if you feel you're owed it and you're passionate about it, you should definitely go about it, because that means you're in line with it and you're meant to receive it on some way. But just sitting down and yelling and screaming and chanting and protesting about it, you're not going to get it. There's so many different ways to get the reparations, right? You just had the Bitcoin seminar. You don't think you can get paid out reparations through Bitcoin? You don't think you can jump in on these stock markets, the information that has been held for so long from us on how to create your own generational wealth? That's your reparation right there. Get in some insurance, learn about living trust, learn how to create your own bank, get some living benefits so that if you are a knuckle dragger and something happens to you, you can still have something that kicks in while you're alive, or you can leave it for your legacy. Because whatever Mike Tyson talking about, F all that, legacy is important, especially if you're wanting to find out about your foundation, So yeah. I don't think it's bad. I just think sitting, waiting for a handout from people, again, who are meaning to oppress you, it's counterproductive.
Right. So let me ask you this, Ascendant. Family, I want y'all to call in. I only see one other call in the back. I want to hear what y'all have to say. And I'm not just talking about Black Americans or foundational Black Americans, African Americans, or whatever name we're using for the people who are indigenous here, Moors. I want everybody. I want to hear what the Jamaicans got to say, the people from Europe, because I got a global audience. So I want to hear what the global family has to say about this particular topic that is all over the web. It's been on the web. It's being talked about. It was a major talking point in the elections. A lot of people want to know the candidates' take on reparations. So I want to hear what the people have to say about it. So yeah, definitely call in. And let me post the link one more time. Make sure y'all call in and make sure you're respectful to everybody's opinion. I don't have I got a very good audience and a mature chat. So let's make sure we're respectful to everybody who calls in with their opinion, because it's easy to get triggered by this conversation. Ascendant Infinite Goddess, and one more question before you get out of here. In terms of, let's say, because Fat Joe is from the hip hop community, and one of the things Fat Joe said that angered a lot of Black people that's indigenous to this land, or Black people who are foundational to this land, is when Fat Joe said that Black people, African Americans and Puerto Ricans created hip hop 50-50. Now, how important, and I know Tariq did the documentary Microphone Check, where he came up with a lot of the legends came out and said that no, that wasn't the case. They were participants, but they were not creators. Do you feel as though that's something that's important to distinguish and to verify that you are the creator of an art form, or do you think that Fat Joe saying what he says shouldn't trigger or anger as many people as it did? What's your thoughts on that?
I don't think anything anyone says should trigger you. I think we need to work on our triggers. I think we need to work through that trauma. But I understand where everyone is coming from, because it's like, we have created so much. We've built so much. And so much has been taken away. So we want our credit. Give us our credit when credit is due, and stop always trying to diminish or make us seem minute in our contributions, because that's not the case. Now, as far as Puerto Ricans and Blacks creating it half and half, I don't know about that. But I do know that a lot of the Latinas, the music, the instruments, it does have a connection with the rhyming, with the beats. But to say creating 50-50, maybe 75-25, right? But we're not going to play like they didn't migrate and move to this area, right? New York, Florida, big melting pot for all of them, right? So did they have a part to play? Sure, right? Nothing can be done and created on its own. Maybe some influence, but I don't think that should be triggered. And especially with a lot of our elders not having the wherewithal to get down, not having the wherewithal. Sorry, my cat. Not having the wherewithal to share the information and even being respected to say, okay, well, here's the true history. Let's pass this down. There's like none of that still being, get her out of here, please. There's none of that being passed down. So now the young heads coming in and they're just like, yeah, whatever. I don't want to hear what you have to say. And everything's being lost and being tossed up in the game. Like, what's the purpose, right? What's the purpose? What are we really fighting for? Because hip hop has evolved so much to the point where it's like, what is hip hop? Can we even say that's rap? Can we even say that's hip hop no more? You know, the music has lost some of its soul. You know, it's hitting different, big time. So it's like, what is it that y'all are really, really squabbling about?
Hey, I appreciate the call. Ascending Infinite Goddess, leave your information because I know you out there helping people all over the world with your products and services. So tell the people about what you got going on before you get out of here.
Okay, so best way to catch me is my website, www.ascendinginfinitegoddess.com. My handles everywhere is Ascending Infinite Goddess, Instagram, Facebook page. I don't really be on there, but I be on there. TikTok. I'm building my TikTok. Y'all can holler at me, Ascending Infinite Goddess. And that's really where I am. My YouTube channel, where I'm active the most. And I just did an event. I don't know if you saw the promo, Black Magic, but Catapult Your Energy. I just did it on Sunday. And I want to thank you because I had Kashia, Alien Black Girl, shout out to her. She was one of the speakers, and I met her when we went to Gathering of the Masters. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful connection. So this past Sunday, we did Catapult Your Energy with her, with Malcolm from Urban X. Shout out to the nation. I know y'all in the chat. Right, we're part of the. What do you call your people? What do you call your people? Radiohead. What do you call them? What are we, a tribe? A nation?
I don't. What are you talking about? Like my channel and stuff like that?
Yeah.
You know, I purposely don't create a name. I purposely do that. I purposely don't. You know how everybody got like the Urban X Nation. I purposely don't create. We're like the unknown. We're just unknown.
Okay, I'll be that. Well, you have a big melting pot of a lot of different communities. So the Urban X Nation, I know they're in the chat, and then I had Blue Pill on there, and I had Yali Giovanni. So I mean, it was such a great event. And that replay is also on my website. And I'm an angel oracle, so I channel the angelic realm. I channel ancestors. I do card readings. I do chakra balancing. I do mental healing sessions. So all that can be found on my website. But yeah, I'll let you, girl. I love you all. I appreciate all of you.
Thanks for calling. Appreciate it, sis.
Yeah. Peace.
Peace. All right. Let's get to. I got my brother Ani in the back. Yo, who said? Somebody said, hold up. Somebody said, you killing me with this bullshit. What are you talking about? I want you to explain to me vintage script cash. What I'm killing you with, my brother. I know that's a dude. So what I'm killing with you with, sometimes I do the dyslexic shit, but what am I killing you with, my brother? I would love to know. Tell me what I am killing you with, my brother. I'm doing a show on a popular topic, and I'm getting different opinions from different people of different backgrounds. King. Tell Sabir Baker calling. Sabir Baker calling. I'm it's not, nobody's dominating the show tonight. Opinions create more confusion. Okay. So Vincent said I'm killing them with the bullshit. Then he said opinions create more confusion. So I shouldn't get people's opinion. I should just avoid the topic. I mean, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. You know what I'm saying? You know what's funny? The irony is you said, I'm killing you with this bullshit. That's your opinion. That's your take on this. And I'm taking other people's opinion. So I don't know. But I respect your opinion. But, I'm doing what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to my brother Ani is in the back.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
What was it's Ani, right? Or Anu?
Yes, it's Ani Osaru.
Ani Osaru. Yeah. I'm like, damn, I hope I'm not Ani Osaru. Brother, listen. So much talk about this topic. There's been a resurgence, there's been like this awakening. I'm gonna say it, I want to preference it and I want to give some context before you go in, my brother, and we get to the next caller because I want to give you significant time to go in. I said this in the beginning for those coming in late. I remember when I first got into consciousness, it was all about back to Africa. It was all about Egypt, Kemet. It was all about how beautiful Africa was, the resources over there. And we got to figure out a way to get back to Africa and Pan-Africanism. And somewhere along, and the Moors were talking, the Moors were the first group that I heard say, hey, we're indigenous to this land. We're from right here. We're not from here. We're from right here. And then from the Moors, I just heard more people outside of the Moors talking about that topic, about us being here, us being found, us being the only group that's not immigrants here, us this being our land, us being lied to, the whole Africa thing being a lie, them trying to trick us out of our land here, America being more thorough than Egypt. I'm like, America is more thorough, more ancient, and I'm like, what the fuck? All this shit, I'm hearing all this, and I'm like, whoa. It's just, and I interview so many people, and I see how big it's getting. Even people I don't interview, like a Dane Calloway or Tariq, even if they have different approaches, it's still sort of the same concept about the black people that were indigenous here and how popping it was over here in antiquity, not over there, but over here in antiquity. So I'm like, I want to get the people's opinion about everything that's going on, because all the creativity, not all of it, but a lot of it, and I said this before, and some people might get mad, but some of the biggest names in the world come from right here. And I know some people may get angry at us, but the biggest name, Michael Jackson, for example, the inventions, probably 80% of the inventions that the things that we see, we don't even know was created by the black people over here. You know what I'm saying? The air conditioner, there's thousands of patents that people will be like, what? Did them niggas over there created it? And I'm like, yeah, we created that shit. So I'm like, I want to know I want to know what everybody's thinking, what everybody's talking about. I'm glad you called in, my brother. What's going on? What's your thoughts on this topic?
Let me clear this thing up. So
please, my brother. Go ahead.
First of all,
yes,
if you want to talk about the first woke movement, we're not talking about the current woke movement that has been hijacked with these different Marxists, BLM with George Soros and all these things. Of course, we know that Black Lives Matter, melanated lives matter, but all of these other, LGBT, these other things, Marxist things that capture what wokeness of, Hidden Colors, which is what Tariq produced. Tariq Nasheed produced that. That's really what woke me up. My brother and my homeboy put me on to that way back in the mid 2000s. That was the introduction, the first time that I saw that there were actually indigenous Americans here, Black Americans, not, beyond what happened with the slave trade. We know the slave trade happened. A lot of Moors and other indigenous Black American tribes that's now coming up in this movement, they don't believe that the slave trade even happened because we don't have any ships as evidence. But with what we do know, there was an amalgamation of different ethnicities, and there were indigenous tribes, thousands of tribes in the original 13 colonies that mixed in with some people that came from Africa, some people that came in from the West Indies, and also the Europeans, the different Europeans that were here that was enslaving or putting people into a political status of war, which is enslavement anyway. And they worked those people and promised them something and never gave them what is actually in legislation and law. They never gave them anything. So what this foundational Black American movement is that Tariq re-sparked off of our other brother, Dr. Claude Anderson. See, people think foundational Black American came up by Tariq Nasheed. No, we have another elder named Dr. Claude Anderson who's been around writing for years. We're talking about 50 plus years writing books. He had the term native Black American, because what he was writing about in the 90s, he was saying that he noticed that the political system were using different Black faces from other areas around the world, and kind of like Colin Powell,
Colin Powell.
and Condoleezza and all these
Condoleezza Rice.
right,
Yep.
and using these faces early, and they were manipulating, because what they're teaching now is that if you're not from the specific lineage, you're not going to have a tie to the people of the land. So that means you're not going to have most emotional output to do what's right for the people on that land. So the white supremacists, the people, the white corporation started to realize that there wasn't really a commodity amongst them putting Black Americans in office. We never had a Black American president. I mean, Barack Obama, he was raised in Chicago. Some say it was Hawaii. Some say, he's from South Africa. But what we do know, he's not fully, from the culture. So it was a tactic that they were using. And the reason why people are mad in your chat, they think that the foundational Black American is a divide. By the way, they think it's divisive. But the divisive thing, I'm going to get to that point of what's really divisive. So Dr. Claude Anderson came up with the term Native Black American. What Tyreek did, he tweaked it to foundational, because he felt like the foundation of the country is the melanated Black people that came from the 1865 census, the people whose family can be traced back from that 1865 census and back. Those were the people who built the country for free. Those were the people that were used for free labor. Right. Your grandparents used to tell you a long time ago. My grandmother, her eyes used to change blue and green. She was a light-skinned woman, long hair. And it used to scare me when I was little. She used to tell us that we do have some Native American in us. We have that the first Native Americans here were actually melanated. They weren't, the Yucatan or whatever these other Asian admixture genetic group, clan genetic groups are that they recognize as the Native Americans now. So what happened was the government, it was a guy named Lee Plecker. Right. He reclassified all of the Native American tribes as Negro and Black, because we went from Negro, we went from Black, then Jesse Jackson in the 80s coined the term African American. This was a political tactic too, because once in the 1965 Civil Rights Movement, when we pushed the Immigration Act, immigrants weren't allowed to be over here, Brother Rich, like that. It is out of the 1965, I say 1965 Civil Rights Act with Dr. Martin Luther King and our ancestors. That's what pushed the Immigration Act, and that's what allowed immigrants to come over here and get the benefits off our tax dollars that they do right now. Without the Civil Rights Act, that didn't happen. So
Black Americans sparked that. Black Americans sparked all of this.
We thought that if we brought over brown and Black people, we thought that it will fight the system with us. But what ended up happening when they came over here, not all of them, but enough of them said, well, we really want to recognize ourselves with the white corporation. We don't want to do it with y'all. We want to benefit off what y'all built. This is what Fat Joe is mad at, because the Latino organization, LULAC is like the biggest Latino organization in America. They said in the early 60s, when the white corporation offered them, hey, Latinos, hey, Mexicans, you can be called a Mexican American as an ethnicity in America. We'll put it on job applications and everything. They resisted that, Brother Rich. They said, we want to be called white American. If you look up Fat Joe's identification ID, he is classified as white, and they'll tell you
that's true. His identification ID, he's classified as white.
They'll tell you they have no choice but to do that. That's a lie. They know what they're doing. See, the only group that can't classify themselves as white in white supremacy is Black people. We're the only people that can't. Mexicans can classify themselves as white. Puerto Ricans can. Asians can. Arabs can. All of these other groups can classify themselves as white on their IDs except Black people. And I'm not just talking Black Americans. I'm talking about Black people in general. But this is the thing. there are tribes in Africa that recognize themselves as white. We know as a status from the Moorish citizenship, white isn't a color, it's an actual status. So we understand that. But this is the thing. The Latinos have this motto that they teach to their children. It's called Mera la Raza.
Oh, what's that?
Mera la Raza is a motto they teach. It means whiten the race.
Whew.
Now, George Lopez said in one of his comedy specials, he said there's three things that a Latino or a Latino person, their mothers teach them that they shouldn't do. I can't really remember two of them, but I know the main one he said is not marry a black person. Don't marry a black person. I know Lefty Gunplay, that was just on Kendrick Lamar's song, he said publicly recently that he didn't want his daughter.
His daughter, yeah.
Marrying a black. Now, I understand now, as a black man, I wouldn't want my daughter marrying outside. So I understand that. But this is the thing. They teach their kids not to specifically marry black people. I wouldn't tell my daughter you can't specifically marry a group. I would tell her I prefer for you to get with a melody. That's a different dynamic than saying don't marry those black people because it's mera la raza. You want to get a lighter ethnicity, a lighter tone race, so we can identify as white. Right. So that's the thing. But this is the thing with the divide with African and Caribbean immigrants right now. With the hip hop movement, and y'all do an excellent job with your albums, you producing, Rich. I've been seeing you guys do a lot of things with the movement. It was created by Black Americans.
People get upset. People get upset. Hold up now. They don't get upset about the Jamaicans might come after you.
They might come after me, but we already talked about this on my platform.
Okay.
Jamaicans, we love y'all. We love our Latino brothers and sisters too. I got some Latino friends as well, but y'all need to come off that cap. We got a video from the 1920s, the Jubilaires rapping on a beat. We got an OG from the 1960s, Pigmeat Markham, rapping on a beat. And this is before hip hop is even a thing. They want to go back to the Kool Herc party. There were other pioneers before Kool Herc. We got Disco King Mario, Grandmaster Flowers. And even Kool Herc said that when he got over here as a Jamaican immigrant, he said that the Black Americans would clown him for the way that he dressed. So he had to get his swag from the Black Americans, and then they taught him how to do his thing, with what he did. He had to learn all of that. And when they talk about people keep saying Latinos started b-boying. That's a lie. That never happened. It was a guy named Trixie that actually started the b-boy thing. And if you go get Tyreek's new film, Microphone Check, he has all of the pioneers. This is why Fat Joe is mad. All of the pioneers, Brother Rich, came together for the first time in American history on a film. See, in American history, when we had hip hop documentaries, we would skip directly to the 80s and the 90s. We would start talking about what was going on with Biggie, Tupac, and a couple of 80s groups or whatnot. Hip hop was created in the late 60s and early 70s, if you understand that. So the confusion is that b-boying, first of all, the first b-boys have came out, and even Latino b-boys have came out and said that Black Americans was doing this long before. Look at our brother from South Carolina. What is his name? Forgetting his name right now, but it's a brother from South Carolina that was doing things way before New Yorkers were even doing it, brother. So the Bronx actually cultivated the culture and stamped it as hip hop, but it was Black Americans that were already working on the culture in the disco period, the jazz period. They were putting pieces of it together so it can alchemize. When we get into the spiritual aspect, it alchemized into this new thing that we called hip hop. We took a piece from this genre, we took a piece from that genre, we put it in a pot, we cooked it, and we put it out, and it became hip hop. But a lot of the Latino pioneers, and none of them have come forward and provided proof yet that they were at the beginning, and everyone in the Bronx is saying just as much as Lord Jamar, no Latinos was at the beginning. Latinos are the first students of hip hop outside of the ethnicity. The Latinos did. So let me give you a scenario. If I dug a hole and I put semen in the hole and I filled it up with water, if you got him, so this thing, I built a pool. So that's what I'm describing. If you got in the water and you was the first one that did a backward swim in the pool, does that mean that you created it?
No, not at all.
So that's what they're saying. They're saying because they had a certain b-boy style that was different after we had already built the foundation of it, you can't say that you are the pioneer of this thing. You got some immigrants, Asian immigrants, like the guy Konzo, what is his name? The guy that was taking pictures of Cool Herc Party. Just because you took a picture of the party, you feel like you're a pioneer now. Taking a picture now makes you a pioneer. If you ordered pizza at a Cool Herc Party,
come on now, oh shit!
that's what's going on. That's what's going on.
Oh.
And the people are mad. Let me tell you what it is. Black Americans across the world are looked upon as slaves. We're looked upon. This is truth in the matters of immigrants. We're looked upon as being used for our energy. And we're supposed to give it to someone or share it with someone, and we're not supposed to take the full credit ever for anything. This is how they look at us. Now they know that we're exceptionally talented. We have some ingenuity. Tyreek calls it the Majara spirit. It's something about our spirit that we're the only people that fight white supremacy. And the other immigrants around the world, they'll say, well, shoot, where are we at in the world? It's horrible. So y'all up there under white people. So y'all complain about white supremacy. Y'all got it good in America. Y'all got it the best. And y'all complaining about white people and of that aspect. But but we know, because we've been under the beast for 400 years, we know how devilish the white, I mean, I'm not talking about all white people. I'm talking about the white supremacists. That's what they called themselves. They named themselves that. We didn't give them that name. They said we were supreme genetically over you, which doesn't make no sense because we're genetically superior. That's why they hate us. So it's almost like a projection from the white supremacists, and it's a projection from the immigrants, because when they come over here, honestly, we love our Jamaican, our Caribbean brothers and sisters, our Haitians, different ethnic groups around the world, our British brothers and sisters, because we notice in the Hollywood industry, they won't let us play our heroes no more. It's all British Americans playing Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. They won't let us do that. We love y'all, but y'all.
I gotta ask you this. If this is a melanin thing, right? If this is hey, I'm melanin deficient, I'm melanin recessive, you guys are melanin dominant, and because of that, I know the science behind that. So I got to do what I got to do to survive. You know, the whole, survival thing. I got to do what I got to do to survive, and I'm going to hold you back based on my survival. If it's that, then why like how you say, and I've heard people say this, I've heard historians say this, they would bring up one melanin dominant group, and it seems like they want to keep one melanin dominant group down. So they'll make so let's say they have a melanin dominant president, but he's not from America. He's not native to the land. It seems like, there's always conspiracy about the people who are native to the land, but everybody else, you could be melanin dominant. So it seems like it goes beyond melanin, and it's just one group. Like, let's say the I remember hearing a lot of my people complain about. I remember when I was younger, them trying to get jobs, and they would be like, "Damn, the Caribbeans got it on lock in the hospitals, and they're not letting the blacks in there." Or, "Damn, the gas stations, the Arabs got the gas stations. Now the Arabs might be my complexion. They might look the same complexion as me, but it seems like other dominant groups got shit on lock, and the Black Americans are like, damn, well, they got benefits, they got this, they got that, and it almost seems like, what shit? You the only niggas left complaining. It's like you the only niggas left complaining. We got this. We in the medical industry. We got the gas. We got the gas stations. We got the convenience stores. Or we got that, and we're like, and they're like, you niggas is just complaining. And the Black Americans just look crazy. So I'm saying, if it's a melanin thing, why does it seem like other groups got certain things from white supremacy, but it seems like the Black Americans didn't get something from white supremacy? If I'm saying it right.
Great question.
Yeah.
It's called buffer groups.
Buffer?
People should understand it. It's called buffer groups. So the white supremacists, they have a system and a plan to keep Black Americans, the slaves who built the land, they don't want to give us what's owed. So they created a system through other immigrant classes. They said, hey, yeah, it's called a buffer class. My bad. Thank you, Flower. So a buffer class is an immigrant group that's elevated, not over white people, but over Black people. And they put them in our neighborhoods and they give them a quarter of a business industry. They'll give the Asians the hair industry. They'll give the Arabs the gas station or the bodegos or these things. They'll give them pieces just as long as they practice anti-Blackness against Black Americans. Now, the immigrants will say, well, when a police come pull me over and I have Black skin and I'm Black, I look just like you. There's no difference between it. But one, there's been several videos that came out of immigrants from other country. They know how to code switch very well. So they'll talk to the officer in their other native type tongue infused with English. And the officer is like, oh, this is some immigrant. Let me let them go. They don't even know what they're doing. You know, they'll play just like how the Mexicans used to say, no English, no English. That was a whole little thing they used to do with code switching back then. The Black immigrants doing the same thing. Hey, I'm not like those Negroes over there. I'm a different type of Negro. They'll code switch, but they'll get around us and they'll act like everything is flat Black. You see what I'm saying? And of course, with the lighter classes like the Indians, they don't get pulled over for nothing. They don't get, Nipsey Hussle's business, he was getting hit with these things, what is it called? Ordinances, business ordinances. Black businesses get hit with ordinances. Nipsey Hussle business, it was a LA operation called Operation Laser, where they were targeting Black businesses. If any gang members came out of your business, and you know, gang members come out of all of these businesses, but if it's Black specifically, if it's foot traffic of gangs, they'll say, oh, we got to put a noise ordinance, so we got to put some gang ordinance over your business, and we got to shut you down. Sorry, buddy, we got to shut you down because we can't have that. And they'll do that just, you know, to set you back. You got to pay the fees, you know, the taxes and all of that, and then they'll choke you out of your business. That's what happened with the turkey leg hut. A lot of things went on with the turkey leg hut. When it's a Black American business, it mysteriously have these things that happen to it that makes it shut down. But all of these Asian businesses, they be having these warehouses where they put their meat and hair in one warehouse. Y'all eating these out of these places, their meat in their hair is stored in these different warehouses. I see it where I live at. I see it. And there's no ordinances, no health ordinances. They don't check those people food to see if it's really organic cow or chicken they're feeding us. It could be all type of stuff. They don't do no ordinances against these other businesses. So the buffer classes and what you're saying with these brown people is a tactic that they use for confusion, but they know they're elevating them enough in their business so they can point at us and say, see, there is no white supremacy. You Negroes are just lazy and you can't pull yourself up from your bootstrap, all of that stuff you say back in the 60s and stuff.
Indeed. Hey,
but this is the thing. There's one thing. I disagree with the sister. Coming together right now. Bobby Hemmett, all of these people said, melanated people, there's nothing in the hieroglyphs in Egypt. There's nothing on the American lands. There's nothing ancient that I looked at. I read thousands of esoteric spiritual books that said that Black people are going to come together collectively. I'm not saying I'm not being divisive. I'm just saying Black Americans recognizing their ethnicity and what they contributed is not divisive. Because when immigrants come over here, we're all Black. But as soon as they get an award, if a Latino or Nigerian get an award, it's not Black. No, it's not. You're not a Black American anymore. It says Nigerian.
That's a great point.
Gets an award. But when you commit a crime, Black Americans have to absorb your crime into the Black American group. When you do something negative, oh, we're all Black. Oh, we're all Black. But when you do something great, oh, that's not a win for y'all. This is a win for Jamaica. This is a win for Haiti and things of that aspect. Okay, we don't even look at that as divisive. Let's just keep that all across the board everywhere now. We want to recognize ourselves as our ethnic group. We are a special ethnic group. We had a ethnogenesis. We became they would try to call us Africans. We have African lineage as much as everyone else on the planet. White people have African lineage. So is white people Africans? We haven't been in Africa in 500 years. There's no nation state in Africa that recognizes Black Americans that can come there as a whole and give dual citizenship. So I commend Tyreek. I commend all these other platforms of recognizing that we are a special ethnic group in America. As spiritual people, we understand that it's beyond the flesh. But as a ethnicity, you should have pride in your group, just like everyone else have pride. There's nothing wrong with that.
Indeed. Hey, listen, man, I really appreciate you calling in and dropping some science tonight, my brother. Because I got to get you back on the show anyway, soon. I got to get you back on the show real soon anyway. You know what? I end up getting that I got a reading from the sister. What's the name? Kalini. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. It was dope. It was all good. It was real good. She gave me a whole like a 60-page pamphlet on like my whole chart and all of that.
So let me tell you something. She goes in, and I'm telling you, I can't wait. You guys got to get your reading from Kalini, because whatever she gave you, Brother Rich, that's just a start of what she can do. This sister is something right here. We haven't had a lot of sisters like this come across, in the different eras of consciousness. She got so much esoteric knowledge. I'm telling you right now, and her name is Kalini Astrologer. At gmail.com. That's her email. And I support her. She's one of my master teachers, to tell you the truth. She teach me stuff. Anything that comes along with these celebrities, I just send her a text. They're like, hey, what's up, Mama Bird? What's going on? She gives the whole rundown. Well, his moon is here. His man, she goes in with it. She goes in. But I'm glad you got the reading though.
Yeah. I want to get her on the show the top of next year, sometime in January. So I'm definitely going to try to set something up. But hey, like I said, my brother, I appreciate you calling in. I'm getting opinions, and you came in and you dropped some shit on us. So I really appreciate it. I'm going to talk to you soon, my brother.
All right, brother. Y'all have a good one now.
Yes, sir. Peace.
Peace.
All right. Let's get to the next. Yeah, that brother, he was on my show before, and that brother's deep into the metaphysics, and he deals with spirituality a lot. So he just texted me. I'm like, I definitely want to get this brother's opinion. So I want to thank that brother for calling in and dropping some signs. We got the brother Sabir Bey. King Simon told me the brother Sabir don't even know he's on the show. I don't know what the hell Sabir.
I'm talking to my daughter, man. I got a 5-year-old. You already know how it is in parenting, bro. Come on, man. Listen, Rick.
Hey, Sabir, what's going on?
I'm good. It's funny that Simon had to make this happen. That's funny. Shout out to King Simon. He said I was going to go out the door because it's the holiday. I got to take my daughter to the store. She's 5. She's just walked out the room. And I'm sitting here like, okay, come on before she come out the room. Okay. So as soon as you hit me, right, she's walking out the room. And I'm like, dang, man, this is crazy, bro. You're a father. You know what it is, man. So,
that's how it happens. Hey,
man. I said, this is not my show. Okay. You got to, I'm like trying to tell her, chill for a second. Like, this is not my show. It's somebody else's show. So a parent. So shout out to King Simon. I was going to go out the door. He was hitting me up. Was like, yo, Rich having it open. I said, oh, so you the gateway to bring us on the feed, huh? Together. So don't worry about it, Rich. I ain't gonna say nothing crazy. Okay, I ain't gonna go left. All right.
Yeah, do what you gotta do. I'm just looking for. Yeah, good. I want to hear. It's a topic that now I've known you from the
damn, how long? 20, almost 20 years.
The New York. I remember being in New York and you doing your thing. You've been doing your thing for a while. I remember you doing your thing in New York, and I remember, you know, the whole Black in America thing was the only group I heard talking about it was the Moors. And then slowly but surely with the internet era, I heard more and more people just talk about it, about our indigenous presence in America, the ancient history in America, America being just as important as ancient Egypt, which I never heard when I first came into this community. And I'm like, yo, this thing is getting big. Tariq with the Foundational Black Americans and that whole, what'd you say?
What's that?
Brother, don't come on here acting like you know.
I'm just
you
saying,
sound like Leo Cohen on the Breakfast Club.
No. The reason why I'm saying that because it's funny. Come on, I know. Come on, I ain't gonna do that. But I'm not for the division. It's stupid, brother. This is the thing. It's stupid. And I'm gonna say this, brother, and I'm gonna be real with you. Karis once said something. We did a show. Karis once said it's different between he said I'm analog, not digital.
Yes, sir.
So what we are in now is a digital age, brother. Like you said back then, I heard you speaking about the National Black Theater.
Yeah.
That was the time when the internet was probably getting ready to come in the closing of the National Black Theater. That's when you had to face, like have debates with people, the classes we had at the National Black Theater. You know what I mean? It shifted because most people that you see on social media, brother, don't do their research. And that's the problem. And that's the real deal, brother. They're not doing their research. When we were doing this, you had to go out. You had to go out to do the research, not pulling stuff off of Wikipedia. Wikipedia, I don't even think it was around at that time frame. Was Wiki around at I don't even think that was around at that time frame.
No.
So we got to be very careful about and ask these people where they get the information from. Study the authors. Where did you go at to gather this information to say what you were saying? You see what I'm saying? So to me, I did a couple of videos on it. I said it was stupid. I'm pretty sure. I think you got Caribbean in your lineage, right?
No, I don't.
You don't? No. You have no Caribbean? You look like you're from the Caribbean, brother. Dead serious. You look like you're from the Caribbean. No, you can pass for it. But being in New York, man, and studying the history of Puerto Rico and Puerto Ricans and Latin America, and I tell people all the time, just pick up some books and read sometimes. Hold up. Just pick up some books. Read this one. This is a good one to read about Latin America and who these people are. And when you study the history of the Moors, you will also know the Moors that was Moriscos. The Moors were Moriscos. But can I clear something up? Because that brother said something about the division. He made a name, and this is not to come at anybody. It's called clarity. He said two things. He messed up Joey Cazzo's name. That's what he's talking about that was taking the photos. That was Joey. He mentioned Leo Plecker. It wasn't Leo Plecker. It's Walter Plecker who created the divisions and the names. It was Walter Plecker. So these things, this is what I mean when people just hear things and not research these things. You can misinterpret all of this information because they're listening to people who never did no research on any of these things. So we got to be very careful and study certain books. You know, I've been in the room with Bobby Hemmett. I know what Bobby Hemmett used to say. Bobby Hemmett used to always tell us, this is no time to join no organizations. Most of these people never been in the room with Bobby Hemmett. So there's a lot of things that we have to actually research to find out why. And this whole foundational Black American, and this again, is not to beat people up. Lineage is going to link you back to something. Your lineage will link you back, and it's going to link you directly back to Africa, period. No matter which way you want to flip it or call it. It doesn't matter. It's going to link you directly back to that. Arguing this issue about hip hop, who started it, I had a conversation with Curtis Blow, not even a couple days ago. Curtis Blow, y'all don't know that he has a documentary, a real, like, when I tell you, Brother Rich, Curtis Blow has a real sit down discussion with the heads, and most of them dudes is not even around anymore. Y'all don't even know about it. I'm trying to think of the name of it, but I don't want to speak out because I don't know what Curtis Blow is doing, but he's in DC right now. I just spoke with Curtis Blow, and I'm like, why you never talk to Curtis Blow about this information? He was there at the beginning of all this. So we're having these arguments about is Puerto Rico, who started hip hop and what hip hop. No, it was not, it was not Black people. It was not Black. Black is a modern day term. It's not an ancient term. Those people, whether you want to accept it or not, they were Moors. And that was the whole purpose, Brother Rich, of what we were having at the National Black Theater, to come to this.
All of you saying the Moors started hip hop.
Listen, when I say Moors, I'm speaking Moors. We're not, and let me make this very clear. I am not a Moor, brother, in the Moor Science Temple. Let's make that very clear, because people get that twisted. And I want people to understand, I don't belong to no organization, nor do I belong to the Moor Science Temple. When we talk about Moors, we're talking about historical. If we're talking about inventions, we're talking about the windmills that we see outside right now. That was invented by Muslims. So majority of the stuff that we're talking about, brother, was invented by Muslims, period. It could be Moors Muslims, or you could have Jewish Muslims, because Moors were not just Muslims. They were Jews also. So your religion had nothing to do with your nationality. That's what it was. So for some reason, people are going to Wikipedia and finding this information instead of saying, let's sit. And I say this all the time, if you disagree with me, do your research and then come to me with your your facts, period.
Right.
That's all.
Okay, so go ahead. Go ahead, my brother.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Shoot.
Okay, so where you from, my brother? Where are you from?
I live in California, but I'm from South Philadelphia. Born and raised on the playground where I spent most of my days.
No, your parents. Are you know how you asked me about?
Oh, you talk about the lineage.
My Caribbean background.
Let me say this to you. My great-grandmother, but I was blessed, Brother Rich, to know my great-great-grandmother. She's from South Carolina. That's where my great-great-grandmother's from. Yeah. My great-great-grandmother told me the history. And you would say, let's say the word Indian, for instance. Indian only means indigo, number one. My grandmother told me the stories, and I was blessed to have her in my life at that time frame. She used to tell me that she didn't understand what I was explaining to her about the Moors part. And she said, yes, if we talked about those things, they would kill us. So certain things, brother, could not be spoken of. But my mother, my father, what you would say is an Indian. If you see my father, he was. My father, and I'm speaking on now my mother's side, South Carolina. Rather you were born here, rather you were born in the Caribbean, you can move. We were moving from place to place, period. If you got stuck, like I'm from Philadelphia, but I live in California. My children are from California. You follow me? But I'm from Philadelphia. But that's still my lineage. That's still my family. That's how this works. It's all the same. So my father was born here. My grandmother, my great-great-grandmother, know that she came from Africa, period. This is how it is. So you are where you're from. But the whole argument is the black thing, Brother Rich. It's the black, because those people were Moors, period. After the 1500s, before the 1500s, no one called themselves black, brother. No one. Mm-hmm. We only teach history, Brother Rich, at 1619 during slavery. So before the 1500s, we was called Ethiopians or Moors. All one has to do is do their research and pick up certain books. Oh, how about traveling? Period. Mm-hmm. That's all. And black is an Anglo-Saxon word. It's B-L-E-A-C. If you look it up, it's an Anglo-Saxon word. It is not an ancient word.
Hey, all right. A couple of questions I want to ask you that I asked the sister that was here earlier. I didn't ask the last brother Ani, because obviously I knew the answer to the to the question. But I want to ask you: do you have a problem with? And I'm black, because I don't want to. We all know when we say Black Americans, we all know what we're talking about. So I don't want to get in caught up in the semantics of it. But we know what I'm talking about. I want to know: do you have an issue with so-called black? And I totally understand. Sabir, I totally understand where the Moors is coming from, and when the invention of the word black, or when we started being called black, just like we might have started being called African American at a later time. Well, what I want to know from you is: do you have a problem with so-called Black Americans asking for reparations?
Oh, the reason why I say this, let me ask you a question, right? Let me ask you a question, right? Why haven't you gotten it yet? Why haven't they gotten reparations yet? Just think about it.
You might hear 1,000 different answers.
Okay, so let me help you out. I spoke at UDC. I can still remember this day, brother. At UDC, 2008, my mother passed that same year, Noble Drawley's birthday. I spoke on the 20, you could probably Google it if you look it up, Sabir Bey reparations. I spoke in 2008. I said that we need to have reclamations. Who are you going to give the money to? Who you going to give the money get the money from? This is called common sense, right? Who are you going to get it from, or who are you going to give it to? And who went to war with any black person at that time? Who? So if people would say, well, they got it from, the Jews got it, because Jews had to be claimed to be Germans, Czechoslovakians. That will be their nationality, right? So they have a nationality. What nation would they give it to that's called themselves black people? This is called common sense. When I spoke at UDC in 2008, there was 2 attorneys on a panel with me. And I said, what we should be fighting for is reclamation. What does that mean? That means to reclaim what's underneath your feet. Now, if you're using restitutions, Brother Rich, restitutions is something totally different. If anyone researched reparations, you will find reparations for when nations fight one another. That's what reparations is. Restitutions is a wrong being done, like a court case. You wrong somebody, you pay the restitution. Those are 2 different words. And this is when law comes in. So no one owes people, black people, reparations. Okay? They owe people who they took in war time. The one who won, they actually congratulate the ones or support the ones who lost. And that is the key. We're arguing these issues the wrong way. This is why they're sitting back.
Well, I'm not asking if we're arguing it the wrong way.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm just speaking to your audience too.
Let me rephrase it. Do you feel as though the black people who built the country, should they be compensated in 2024, 2025, 2026? Should they be compensated for what they went through on this land?
Let me say this. You say our ancestors or us? Which one are you talking about? Because our ancestors are gone. Now, I
wouldn't ask that question. Wait. Why would I ask you if our ancestors should be compensated?
But this is what I'm saying, though, because we're speaking, Brother Rich, as if it's us. Now, let me say this to you.
Your answer is no. Say no. Say no, brother.
No, listen, hold on.
Brother, come on. This nigga said, wait.
So you want me? So you basically, this is what I want. This is what I'm gonna say to you,
brother. It's a simple question. You're very intelligent. You're very intelligent. You're very intelligent, brother. All you know what I'm asking. It's just like no, Sabir. You know what it is, Sabir? It's like a sense of inauthenticity from you. When I came in and I said the word FBA, you was like, "What's that?"
It was a joke. It
immediately reminded me of Leo Cohen when Charlemagne asked him about Dame Dash. So it's like I want some authenticity. I don't care what
I'm trying to give it to you, brother.
Because listen, I'm gonna get mine regardless. I'm God in the human form. I'm gonna get mine, so I'm not worried about anything. But I just want to talk to authentic people with authentic. You could say, "Fuck them FBA niggas." I'd be like, "Okay, thank you for your opinion, brother."
No, I'm not. I would never say that, though,
my brother. That's it.
Let me say this to you, Brother Rich, and I'm being real. I would never say that. My thing is, like, if you're going to do that, right? I would say, if you want that, want it, I would say give away college funds. That's what I would say. As far as physical, no. I would say pay off people's mortgages, pay off people's debt notes, pay off people's colleges. That's cool. I'm fine if they want to do that. That's all I'm saying. So if we're talking reparations, I said, if you're speaking reparations finance-wise,
right?
What nation? You have to identify the party, Rich, and I'm speaking law. You have to identify who. There was no United States at the particular time, brother. So you have to identify who at the time. So I'm not going to say yeah or no. I'm going to say let's pay off these people's debts. How about arguing that issue? Let's do the wrong. Let's do the restitution. Pay for that part. Pay for that, but don't call it reparations.
So you want you don't want the cash payouts. That bothers you.
The money is nothing though, brother. This is the reality. Money
it
for
what? Services. Money is something. You sell products and services.
Hold up.
Where you get the money from? You got a cash app, Sabir?
Nope.
You accept money though, right? You pay your bills with fiat.
It's not money that they paying it with though, brother.
No, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
If I got it, hold up,
brother. If I write you a check, no, hold up, Sabir. This is what I'm saying, and I love the conversation.
No doubt.
Again, somewhere. If today on this show I said I'm writing a check for $10,000 to Sabir Bey because I appreciate what the brother is doing from the bottom of my heart, and I go like this, you're gonna accept the check? Okay. Are you gonna say fuck this money? This ain't no. Is that? Are you gonna accept the check, brother?
It depends on what it is. I'm from Philadelphia, brother. Listen, brother, Rich.
I want you to be authentic, brother.
Listen to me. I'm being. Listen, I can't be.
Listen,
I can't be more authentic than I am. Listen, brother, Rich.
I'm listening.
Listen, bro.
Yes, sir.
Listen, brother. All money is not good money, and I say this.
I totally understand that. We're not talking about that perspective, though.
I got it.
I'm just talking about a good person giving you a check. You will take it.
Yes.
I'm not.
I agree.
I agree with that. If a drug dealer gives me money, I'm not taking it. But you're
what? If a drug dealer do what?
I'm making an example. I said if a drug dealer tries to give me a check or whatever or money, I won't accept it because it may lead to something. But we're not talking about that. I'm talking about a person who appreciates you and genuinely loves you, giving you a check. And I'm asking you accept the fiat from them. That's all,
brother. The one thing with me, I want to know what's the attachment to everything. It's all you say. The same thing with the drug dealer. It's the same thing with anyone else, brother. It's an attachment to something. So I would say let's have a school. Pay for the rest of the
like the cash handout. Just say that, brother. You want to pay for school?
No.
And I can respect that. There we go. I love that. See, that's what I'm talking about. Something. Just say that. See, that's what I'm
here long enough with me. You understand the type of person I am because, brother.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Go ahead, my brother.
No doubt. And this is the thing, brother. We have to examine everything, brother. We have to look at who's giving it, how we giving it. Again, me personally, I'm about teaching our people who we are. That's where I'm at. I don't have an issue if somebody called themselves black. I know nobody's black. But I understand the language. You follow me? Even down to Puerto Ricans. What language? If I say black in the Latin language, what would I say? How would I say it? What would it be? It would be nigger. It would be nigger. Okay, nigger is Latin. Then if I say it in Spanish, it's going to be negro.
Right.
You follow me? So we have these arguments, and these dudes are not picking up. And it's not pun. It's not playing on words, brother. It's the problem is most of these people don't do research on these things. I'm not going to just jump on it. I live in LA, brother. You know how many people I know in this industry that I choose not to because they whisper in my ear and say, "Yo, Sabir, don't do this, don't do that." You see what I'm saying? When I first moved out here, Eddie Griffin told me, brother, he said, "Don't ask nobody for nothing." I didn't understand it until later on. He said, because they're going to want something from you, brother. It's always something behind it. So I don't jump on everything, family. That's all I'm saying. And I don't have an issue with people. What I'm looking at right now, I have a book called The COINTELPRO. And I'm reading this book and I'm like, wait a minute. All the stuff that is happening right now, somebody's whispering in somebody's ear and telling them to divide our people up. No matter how much you and I go at it with each other, I would never let somebody say something about you without coming to you and saying, well, Brother Rich, somebody told me something about you. You see what I'm saying? But this is what is happening with us. And we got to stop it. It's foolishness, brother. And we blame white supremacy, and white supremacy is a theory. It's not a fact. It's not a fact. You don't feel inferior to no one, do you? Okay, then. So why do we use it? Look it up. It's a theory. It's not a fact. I don't feel inferior to no one. So when I look at Europeans, I'm going to let them know who they are. And I'm going to say, well, where's your green card at to be here? That's me, because I know who I am. Rather, I'm on the other side of this ocean or on this side. I travel to those places, brother. I know. I've seen things. So what my thing is that I'm going to approach this European. I'm not going to call him white because white was invented in the 1600s. That's a modern term. It's not ancient. It's modern. Go look it up on Google. Y'all like to go to Google. Look up the invention of white people. You see what I'm saying? These are the things that we need to start researching. This is why I miss the National Black Theater, because you had to come in and you were getting, you saw it. You get the knowledge, you get the books, you get all these things that was going on at that particular time. So we're not doing it. No, everybody's going to social media and looking these things up. So no, I mean, listen, bro, education is the key.
Hey, Sabir, why are you not a part of the I'm just curious, the Moore Science Temple? Like, why you not? Why you are you like a renegade Moore, my brother? Like,
let me
I'm just curious, my brother, because I don't know the inner workings of that. You know what I mean? You know
okay, so let me explain this to you. Moore Science Temple is a religious organization, brother. That's what it is.
Okay.
I didn't come in the Moore Science Temple. I came through a brother named Kamar Gabriel.
Okay.
A brother named Kamar. I didn't come through the Moorish Science Temple. I remember my experience in the Moorish Science Temple. It was weird. I told this story before. I grew up in Philadelphia. I used to live next door to a Moorish Science Temple, like Moors, literally, brother. And I used to see this dude all the time, and I used to get mad. I got mad earlier when I was in my mid-20s that they never told us we were Moors. So there was a temple on South Street in Philadelphia. It's still standing there. It's a church. You go in there, they sing hymns. I'll be like, I'm out the door, dude. I did it one time. I never, the dude never told us that we were Moors. I went to the Moorish Science Temple on South Street, and they told us that we couldn't have names like Sabir, Rahim, and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm cool, bro. But I never wanted to be a part of no organization, brother. I never did. That's just was me. I'm from the school of like Bobby Hemmett. This ain't no time to join no organizations. So I don't join that things. It's not in me, brother. I can't do that. I mean, I couldn't even be, I love the Nation of Islam, but I'm not in it either. But I will fight for the Nation of Islam. You see what I'm saying? I am in the Nation of Islam. And people don't understand I can work on the outside better than I can on the inside with restrictions. So
I know, Sabir, I get exactly what you're saying because I'm not an organization dude either. So I get exactly what you're saying, brother.
Nah, I'm not in there, bro. And people, for some reason, people keep linking me to that. They be like, yo, Sabir,
well, your name is Sabir Bey.
So y'all seen Bey, right? Most deaf. You think he belonged to a temple? He's a Bey too.
We associate him with entertainer. Like our minds, we automatically think entertainer. You know what I mean?
But he says a Bey.
Yeah.
So my point is that just because somebody has a Bey don't mean that they belong in the temple. The nation is not in the building, brother. The nation is out here. When I go to Turkey, when I was in Turkey, all Beys, brother. That's where the Beys come from. I was in Turkey. You see what I'm saying? It ain't no more Science Temple over that mug. You follow me? So the title of Bey is just, it's a title. It's not a name. That's all it was. So when people get caught up, brother Rich, because they're looking at these other Moors are doing things, it's not what it is, brother. I'm a scientist. It's not the Moorish Science Temple of America is what it's called, right? It was called the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. Science does not come from America, brother.
So, Sabir, what's your opinion on Noble Drew Ali then?
He was a man.
But he was a man, but you don't F with the Moorish Science Temple though.
No, I did a documentary on Noble Drew Ali. Go look it up. It's online.
I think I remember.
I was the first
back in the day, right?
Yeah, I was the first before y'all saw anything of a Hidden Colors when I was in there, because I was in there. And if you look at my name, it's right there. Hold up. How can I hate it? It's there.
So make sure.
And then I get Out of Darkness. What's up? I produced this one.
Oh, you produced that?
Yes, I produced it. Go look at the credits. I produced this, brother. Go look it up.
Yeah.
But this is what people don't know, because in the conscious community, brother, they'll say, keep Sabir Bey away from here. He's going to talk that Moorish talk. He's going to, no, brother.
Nobody said that. Sabir, nobody cut that out.
Let me tell you something. It did happen. Trust me, I tell you. I'm not saying you.
It's not a conspiracy against Sabir Bey.
No. Listen, brother. I'm going to be 100 with you. Let me tell you. Can I tell you something real quick, Rich?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I was on Michael. I do Michael Collier show, the comedian. Michael Collier has an iHeart show. I was on his show. He called me 3 days and he said, Sabir, do you want to be on my panel? I said, sure, not a problem. He had Umar Johnson on it. You never hear me talk about anybody. No one. Now, I may have my own personal feelings towards people, but in public, I would never come at somebody. But when Michael Collier had said my name was on his show, Umar texted him. You can literally see him text him in the middle of the show. And then he called him, and Michael said, who is this calling me on my show live? It was Umar. He said, don't bring Sabir on. Factual. And anybody watch that show, they know it. So this is what I say. So I get text messages from people or DMs from people saying, oh, don't bring Sabir over here because he's going to say X, Y, and Z. Because you think that I'm like that. That when Simon was on your show, it was the same thing. They sent me that and said what he said. And I said, no, that's not how I am, because you don't know me. If you want to know me, sit and talk with me, then you will understand me. You follow me? Don't assume anything about me. Ask me where I've been at, what I know. Just like I just answered you straight up about the temple. I don't belong in the temple, brother. That's not me. I am the temple. The nation is out here. And you have Moors that's mad at me because I say that. You follow me? So they get mad at me. They say, because I don't say Islamism. They got mad at me because they say, oh, when you call my house, you got to say Islam. Well, I guess I won't be calling your house. This is the stuff that happens. You follow me? So I don't follow no man. I'm not a renegade. It's not that, brother, but I'm me. That's it. I want to places that majority of these Moors have never went to and saw.
Hey, Sabir, let me ask you this before I get to the next call. What is you travel a lot, my brother?
I just got back from Portugal. I got a whole story I found when we was in Portugal. Hell of a story.
What are the sentiments in different parts of the world on the blacks here in America?
They love us. You know what it is? They love us, bro. I'm gonna be 100. Dude, I'm gonna be real with you. If you go there and you see it for yourself, the thing is that they say we have everything that we have in our hands, right? But we keep begging this European for everything. What it is that we can take it.
How we beg?
Not beg. When I say begging, we keep asking. Listen, I'm from the school. If you want it, take it, brother. That's just what it is. You follow me? What I'm saying to you is that why are we asking?
Do you know the history of the blacks in America and what we've been through and what
brother.
we for?
I know what we've been. I know what we've been through. No.
I'm saying, like,
listen though. This is no excuse.
In this country,
brother, everybody has their own opinion, just like we have our own opinions.
I agree. You're right.
The image that they see of us, right? Yeah. The image that they see of us, what we're doing. Yeah. We can say they're doing it too, but the image that they see of what we're doing to each other. You follow me? My son was killed in 2020 not by a white dude. My son was shot 10 times for two black guys, young boys. So when they see us doing the stuff that we're doing, even right now, the beefing back and forth, that's the opportunity, brother, for them to step in and do what they're doing. That's why they look at us and say, what are they arguing for? Why are they arguing? You see what I'm saying? One thing that Noble Drew Ali did say that I can quote, and Elijah Muhammad, I ain't gonna quote Noble Drew, I quote Elijah Muhammad. How about that part? Okay. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said this: you don't condemn a dirty glass of water, you put the clean one up beside the dirty one and let the people choose. I've heard that. You follow me? So my thing is that let the people choose. Let the people choose. And that's hip-hop. You follow me? That's what hip-hop is. You go and I go, and you let the people choose.
Hey, Sabir, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I really want to. I'm not going to be in here too long tonight. Last question. It's been fun having you on here, my brother. I really appreciate you.
You got to, we got to do it. It's funny.
Yeah. I
gotta where you go.
I'm gonna talk to Simon, get your contact info and shit like that. The invention of hip hop is hip hop. Don't Sabir. I get this impression you might answer a question with a question. You might. Hold on.
I don't mean to do that, brother, but this is the key. They say you always ask the question with the question. That's what, and I don't mean to do that, but I'm gonna try to be straightforward on your show because I'm going to get off here and do my show soon. I take my daughter to the store.
I know you got to go. So this is the last question, I promise. Last one before you get out of here. Is hip hop a Black American? And the reason why I'm asking this, fam, before people get upset or triggered, because of the whole Fat Joe situation. Is hip hop? Yes, is hip hop a Black? And you know what I'm talking about when I say Black. Is hip hop a Black American invention?
No, it's an African invention. It's African, because the word hippie, even the word hippie, is West African, and the word hippie is Wolof. It's a Wolof language, WOLOF, Wolof, and it means to open one's eyes. Everything that we do, brother, is hip hop. Everything. You're on this feed. You're hip to what is happening, right? So when you hip, you hop, and this is not playing on words. Everything, rock and roll, R&B, jazz is hip hop.
So hold up. So hold up. So Sabir, according to your logic, so hip hop, jazz, because Black Americans have invented hip hop, jazz, country, rock and roll. So according to your logic, rock and roll is African, hip hop is African, country is African, the blues is African, and R&B is African. According to your logic.
Yes, what it is. What is hip? This is why I said people have to really study these things. What is hip? When you hit Brother Rich, you hop. This is not semantics or pun. Again, we don't take the time.
This just sounds crazy up here.
I know it do sound crazy, but again,
I appreciate the conversation.
No, I tell people this: if you live long enough, you'll get it. You follow me? If people live long enough, you'll get what I'm saying and research what I'm saying. I don't need no one to believe anything that I'm saying to them. You have no idea who I spoke with, who I talked to, how this went. None. From pioneers of hip hop. down to people that's in Africa. So people have no idea who I have spoken with. Just because I don't talk about it, because I don't get into the confusion part. Like, oh, brother, we did this and we started this. It's all of us, man. It's us. Those people that we calling Puerto Ricans, they're us, whether you want to believe it or not. I don't have an issue with the people, my Caribbean people. I don't. I truly don't. So again, man, people just got to do their research.
And you know, Sabir, and I feel like I'm getting a more honest Sabir Bey as the interview goes on. And I definitely hear where you're coming from, and I appreciate your honesty and your perspective. But it's almost like I can respect that the Jamaicans' contribution with reggae and Bob Marley, and I wouldn't try to take that away from them. And this is just me, particularly. Like, I ask questions and I'm being objective, but me particularly, right? So I love what the Jamaicans did with reggae. Like, my girl, I went to Jamaica with my girl. My girl's half Jamaican, and I love the island, and I appreciate everything. Like, I feel like for that to be a small island, so much energy and so much power behind that island, absolutely amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing. And I would never want to take credit away from what that island has produced. And I feel like it should be the same way for the quote unquote blacks that are on this side of the planet. Nothing should be taken away from what we contributed and be given away. Like, I wouldn't say, like, let's say Jamaicans produce reggae, right? I wouldn't say, oh no, that's African. No, I'm gonna say, nigga, that's Jamaican. I wouldn't say, oh no. I wouldn't take reggae away from the Jamaicans and say, oh no, that's African. That's African because of this and that. You know what I'm saying?
No, I got you. But this is the key. That's what Bob was doing, brother. If you study, why do you think Nas? You know who you should talk to? If y'all can get a chance, talk to Nas and ask him that same story. Talk to Nas about it and find out why he did the doing with Damon Marley. And then talk to Damon Marley. I spoke with Damon Marley years ago, right? It was funny. I'm sitting here like, yo, this is kind of crazy. But you have to listen. Jamaica is America, period. Whether y'all want to believe it or not. Puerto Rico is America. Trinidad is America. It's the all America, brother. And this is the thing: is schooling has to be here in, brother. And that's why I said education is the key to all of this. You know.
Sabir, listen, man. I'm glad I had this talk. So many different opinions. I'm glad I had this talk with you.
It's so good. You can always have me on, bro. You can come to my show, Sabir Bey show. I'm fine.
You got a YouTube show?
Always, man. Come on, bro.
Gotta get on it.
It's just my name right there, Sabir Bey. That's all you gotta do is Google it. Google my name.
Okay.
Everything will pop up. You gotta come, bro. You know, or I'll meet you in Wadadas.
You in Georgia now, or you in New York?
Nah, man, I'm in LA, man.
Are you in LA?
I would never live in Georgia, man.
Why not? Why you gotta say it? There you go again.
My energy's not. Listen,
what's wrong with Georgia?
My energy's not there, bro.
What's wrong with Georgia?
My energy's not there, brother. I'm gonna be real. My energy, even though I'm from Philly, I'm gonna be real with you. My energy's not even Philly no more. It's like, especially after my son got killed, it's like,
and my condolences to that, my brother.
You know, he's with Allah. He's working on the other side. You know, and this is how I look at life and death, brother. He's on the other side. The thing is that, brother, honestly, and I tell people that we are killing each other we should be having this we should be canceling brothers killing brothers. How about that part? You know what I mean? Let's talk about canceling that. My son got killed right around the corner from where I got shot up at. I got shot 5 times. I still have bullets in my head and my chest. My son, I was home when my son got killed. And I had to, the hardest thing to do, and I'm choking up now, the hardest thing to do is to call his mother and tell his mother that he's dead. That's where I'm at with all of this, bro. And I should have so much hate in my heart, brother, for any black person right about now. You follow me? So if I can get over that and say, listen, brother, we got to find some type of conflict resolution in this, brother, because these things can lead to that. What we seeing right now, what we seeing on this beef right now, whatever you want to call it, it ain't the person, it ain't Tariq, bro. It could be somebody that's ignorant that would do something or run up on somebody that think they sweet like that, and that person mess around and get killed. You follow me? That's what I'm looking at. So come on, man, we got to stop it, bro. It's irrelevant. The arguments are stupid, fam. And until you lose somebody through gun violence, you will understand what I'm saying. Not your friend, because I lost many friends. I'm talking about your child. Your son, and then bury your child. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm looking at. If we can't come together on stopping that, all this other stuff is irrelevant, brother. Period. This is how I am. You know what I mean? I'm to a point, you can call yourself black, brother, but listen, give me the black land. Let's talk about it. Who's black? I mean, what, you know, that's where I'm at. We're not having these type of conversations, brother. We're arguing silly stuff, and the world is watching. Again, what I told you, the world is watching this. When I go overseas, you know what they be telling me? Why is this? You know what they also was telling me about the Moors? Why are they flying our flag over there? I said, Dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I stay in Morocco. Anybody know?
Did you tell them why? Did you tell them why?
Yeah, it was funny. I couldn't, but when they told me, which would take another 2 hours, right? Let me tell you how crazy this is. It made me think about things different. You follow me? It really truly made me think about, like, wow, this thing is bigger than the United States. It's bigger than the United States, because they would say, well, why are they wearing our feathers? I mean, what are you talking about? You know, they would ask me these questions. But again, man, it would take another 2 hours just for me to explain it. So I explain these things on my show to people. You know, I'm not going to argue with you, you know, because of that. You know, all right, cool. Let's talk. Let's see what we have in common. And that's the same thing we did with King Simon. That's why I'm talking to him. He's like, okay, let's talk. You know what I mean? Same thing with you. Let's talk. I'm fine with it. You want to know something? Call me up. Let's talk about it. It may be kind of rough because I'm going to ask the question with the question.
You do that. Yeah, you sure. Yo, Sabir, listen. Hey, I appreciate you calling in, my brother. I really do.
No doubt, bro.
Keep up what you're doing. I'm definitely going to check out. I didn't know you had a YouTube channel. I'm going to check it out, my brother, all right?
No doubt, man. I thank you, man. Have a wonderful evening on purpose.
Leave your contact info, Sabir, for anybody who wants to get in touch with you, my brother.
My email is
2,000 people here. Yeah, I know they were. Yeah.
My email is my name, SabirBeyRadio@gmail.com. Again, SabirBeyRadio@gmail.com. My Instagram is real Sabir Bey, and X is real Sabir Bey. I was going to say Twitter. X is real Sabir Bey. Or you could just what? Do like Wesley Huff said. Y'all should Google me. That's what the boy said. Wesley Huff said, I guess Billy Carson didn't Google me, but you can Google Sabir Bey too. So hey, yeah, brother Rich. Let's stay up, man. Get at me, man. I got to get out this door, man. They just left me. And
oh man, listen. I know how that be, man. Go find your daughter, my brother.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. My daughter. I just had a daughter. She was born November 19th.
Congrats. I got a girl. Son. Yeah. My son is 2. My daughter's 5.
Amazing.
So it was weird because my son came right after my other son got killed. My son Ibn.
Right after.
Dude, it was crazy. Like a year after, like a year or 2 after. Yeah, right after that. It was wild. And I named him after my son Amir.
You named him after your other son?
Yeah, ain't that crazy? Incarnated. Not reincarnated, incarnated. His spirit. We're not reincarnated. He's incarnated in my other son.
Hey, so, Sabir, man. Blessings to you and your family, Sabir. I appreciate the call, my brother. I'm gonna talk to you soon, Sabir.
No doubt, brother. Peace and love, man. Peace to the family.
Right. Peace. All right. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We 2,100 people in here right now. We having a good conversation. I know the chat going crazy right now with everything going on, but we having a good conversation. And this is one of them topics that is the chat is pretty disrespectful. I see some disrespectful comments tonight. I'm letting it slide tonight. It's Christmas Eve, and I'm conversating tonight. Usually I'm gonna tell y'all, listen, man, I'm so quick on somebody say some shit, I just click ban. I just be getting rid of MFers like that. But tonight I'm not really focused on the chat, so y'all might have some leeway tonight. I'm talking to the people tonight. And the topic tonight is one of them topics that I know that people are going to be upset about, but it is a topic that it ain't going nowhere. This topic of FBA's foundational Black Americans, or just the stance that people who are indigenous to this land are taking, whether it's Rod Hayes, Dane Calloway, Tariq Nasheed, RFG, the chosen one. You hear a lot of these people come on this platform and they be like, no, this is popping right here. It ain't about Egypt. It's about right here. Rod Hayes said Egypt is Hollywood. I said, Rod Hayes, what the fuck? I said, what kind of shit is that? Hollywood? He said, yeah, that's Hollywood. You know, Hollywood is the glitz and glam, lights, camera, action. Rod Hayes said Egypt is lights, camera, action. He said, and I don't want to misquote him, and then people like Rod Hayes, Brother Rich, but he basically said that. So, and listen, don't keep writing the same thing in the chat. At least if you're in the chat, at least write something new. There's people that are just writing the same things over and over and over. That's called spamming. I want you, even if you have a crazy opinion, be creative tonight. Don't just write the same thing over and over, copy and paste. That lets me know you have no creativity and you're just spamming. So at least be creative. If you're being disrespectful, at least be creative with it. Don't just spam and copy and paste your disrespect and troll. You know what I'm saying? At least be creative with it. Let's get to another caller. I'm doing about 30 more minutes on here. Somebody said Harlem is Hollywood. Wow. Okay, well, that's your opinion. I don't care. I don't care. Let's get to another caller. The next one we got up is Golden Eyed Pantheris. You're on mute. You're on mute, Queen.
Can you hear me now?
Hey, this is a hot topic tonight. What's your opinion about Fat Joe, foundational Black Americans, and moving forward? How should we? It ain't going nowhere. This subject ain't going nowhere. What's your thoughts on it? Where you're from? I don't know if you're from America, overseas. Talk to me, sis.
So I definitely am American.
Okay. Yes.
I was born in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yes. Yeah.
About our history or the ancestry, my mom, no matter what I learned in school about, we come from Africa, you are descendants of slaves, yada, yada, yada. Here's the pictures to prove it with the diagram with the chained up million people. My mom always said, you come from Alabama. And I never knew what, I just kind of thought she was being, I don't know, snippety with me, or she just never embraced being African. She never said that I should call myself African American, and she definitely didn't agree with being Black. She says that Black is a color in the crayon box. Black means nothing. Now, my mother passed away about almost 20 years ago, and since then, life been lifing. I decided to leave Ohio and try to reconnect back with my roots, because she said we always come from Alabama. And lo and behold, when I get down here, that's where I live now, we've always been here. I did my family tree. I'm in the late 1700s. I have yet to find a slave descendant. I don't see anybody coming from any other place. We've always, on my mother's side, and if the matriarch or if the mitochondrial DNA is what matters, then where your mother is from, that's where you from. So she has told me numerous of times, and now that I'm getting into the information highway of the internet and all, I'm also studying law with real Nagas. Black means dead in the eyes of the law. Right. So the fact that we keep allowing a people to call us something that we're not, we should be naming ourselves. Now, if we want to call ourselves Black because we embrace, what everybody wants to oppress, or what they say is bad, and look, is Black is good. Okay, that's one thing, but know that in the eyes of the law, why we are like this is because to be Black means to be nothing. You are dead.
Right. Hey, listen. All right, so let me ask you this before you go. And I appreciate your call and everything you had to say. What are your thoughts on, because we're talking about Fat Joe and what he said about foundation, what people are calling foundational Black Americans in terms of hip hop. People are arguing about who created hip hop. Should that even be a topic of discussion? And the reason why I ask you that is because the people that are native to this land, indigenous to this land, feel like every time we create something, it is taken from us, whether it is R&B, whether it is jazz, whether it is the blues, whether it is rock and roll, whether it is country. So this is the newest rendition is Puerto Ricans. People feel like Puerto Ricans and Jamaicans saying that they created hip hop. What's your thoughts on that, sister?
Well, now you know that Puerto Ricans and Jamaicans are Americans. So, and again, the darker race or the darker version of those pupils are calling themselves Black. So if they want to coin their contribution to the beginning of the hip hop era, that's fine and dandy, but we do have paper trails that we can actually dig down deep and go, we can look and see where it truly came from. Like this, we got the information highway. Come on, people. We don't have to argue about anything, because in these days, if you want to know something, you just look for it. It's there. The answer is there. And as far as you know, I don't know, because I was born in 1977. And when I came along, there was a small group population of Puerto Ricans. There was a lot of Jamaicans in Cleveland, and a lot of the Jamaicans spoke Spanish too. So we all just integrated and there was no, before the drugs came along, you know what I'm talking about, the one era. Before that came along, I think we were kind of commingling in a good way, and we had our own. Well, we were on the way to our own. I just think that people definitely should not be focusing on. This is not the time to argue over that. Out of all the things, come on now.
Okay.
Come on now. Come on, people, please.
Hey, I respect your opinion, golden-eyed Pantheris, and thanks for the call. All right.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for doing what you do. I was watching you when you was behind the camera, and you didn't want to get on the camera.
Oh shit! You've been watching a while now. You've been watching a while now.
Yes. I'm a UGR fan all day long. Yes.
You know the name UGR. Okay. Oh man, God bless you, sister. UGR. God bless you. Oh my goodness.
God bless you too. Bless you more.
All right. You take care. Happy holidays to you and your family, Queen.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you. All right.
Peace. All right. Let me get King on me for the rest of the calls. King will co-host with me. Can you light a split like a Jamaican?
I want a blood clot.
He did that on purpose. King.
I want a blood clot. Never talk about Rich.
So this is King. This is oh man, this is an interesting topic, King. And like I said, King, and I'm about to ask you a question, but what we call African Americans or Black Americans or Moors or whatever term you want to use, it just, the energy shifted. I remember the whole African thing, and it went from that to it's all about America. Egypt is America. The maps are upside. They started talking about the maps are upside down, and they had places. So many people got this map where all the places in America is places in Egypt, and it's like, whoa, where did all this come from? Then you got the foundational Black Americans. It's like a lot. Like it's like America is different now, King. It's different. But let me ask you this: what's your thoughts? Just to start out with, simply. What's your thoughts, King, as a Jamaican man? You've heard the talk about Jamaicans contributing, busting rhymes with.
I know Cool Herc.
And what Fat Joe is saying, Puerto Ricans and Blacks in America, 50-50. What's your thoughts on that with hip hop and the creation and the beef that's going on right now. Not beef, but the
creation of hip hop is melanated people right here in America. And everybody's right from their perspective, but I think people got to put it in a right perspective. I'm born here. My family from Jamaica and Cuba. You understand? So understand. I know where Kool Herc was coming from, but Kool Herc came with a dancehall sound system energy, but he did not create. He was one of the people that facilitated the parties, but he did not create hip hop. He was one of those original people right there, but he did not create hip hop. In Jamaica, we had the Toasters of 1950, which was called Count Machuki and then Daddy U-Roy and different people that used to toast on the mic. But they used to listen to American radio through AM and used to imitate the American DJs. A lot of people know that. The American talk.
Okay.
I'm saying, look, give hip hop its due to the I don't want to even call them foundational Black Americans because that Black is taking them back into slavery according to law.
But we get what you
foundation melanated people. Let's say foundation of melanated American, or what Tariq said, the Maroons of America. He had a whole documentary on it. Let's get real. So so Jamaicans have their own music that stem from mento and ska and all of that. My family is part of that legacy. Right. But Lord Jamal, all of them is right from their perspective. They are absolutely right. Give it to them. Let them have it. It's all right. Just like you were saying earlier, give the Jamaicans, but you're not going to take it away. Although Jamaicans will say it comes from Africa, but at the end of the day, it was the Jamaicans that refined the African drum beat, because all the drums that we are using in hip hop, Jamaican music, comes from the original drums was made out there. We got to remember that. And there was drums that was made here with the indigenous people. So we shared both history. We keep on dividing it when we had a thing with the drifting of the continents. One time the continents was all together.
Right.
We keep on forgetting this history. We're not going back. We want to stay with the branches and we don't want to go to the root. We want to stay with the branches, but we don't want to go. Hip hop is foundational melanated people. Keep it. Let's give them a round of applause. I love it. Reggae, ska, mento, all of that is Jamaican. Calypso, soca, it's Trinidadian, and all the other. Give it to them. Let them have it. Please let them have it. And I text Lord Jamal, I text Star and Star and them again, but it is causing a division. And what Sabir said, big up to Sabir Bey, some crazy person is going to go and attack another person out there that don't know Lord Jamal, don't know Fat Joe, don't care. He got like he was saying on Math Harder. They got the guns in the trunk. They got crazy people in every job. Yeah. When my father came here, let me tell y'all something. My father opened up a nightclub in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, and it was the Untouchables, Jamaican gang that drove Trans Am. That's why they considered every American, every Jamaican, every Trinidadian or every Caribbean a Jamaican person. Because Jamaica was the ones that came and fought to have their drugs and their marijuana and everything. They was running nightclubs and shooting up people and all that kind of stuff to make the name for themselves. That's why a lot of people started fearing Jamaicans. My father almost got killed in his own nightclub from one of the touchy people or the Untouchables back in those days, which was a Rasta gang from out of Jamaica or the Shower Posse. So let me tell y'all something. Why Jamaica had boasted so much fear in the hearts of people, because they was willing to pull out guns and chop people with machetes back in the day to defend their culture. Because I remember when foundational Americans used to dog out Jamaicans, dog out Haitians, and beat them up in high schools. I was there at Erasmus. I was in those schools. But we respected the hip-hop genre. And I respect hip-hop to this day. I used to mix and DJ and cut up good time. Good time. I used to do all of that. So foundational Americans, big up to y'all for what you have created in your own way. If Latin people contributed, respect the Latin. If Jamaicans contribute, respect them. Whoever contribute, respect. But y'all, Lord Jamal, all of y'all are right. KRS-One, he's doing his thing. He's doing his dance too. He's doing his dance too. And I know people want to go to the root of it, but you got to just let them so we can stop the division and let them have their Mic Check was good documentary, but there's other documentaries out there right now to verify the balance and get everything connected so we don't have to fight. Why we fight? Because white folks are just looking at us like, oh, there these niggas fighting again. Okay, they argued about FBA. They used to argue about African American. People used to argue about who's Black power. People used to argue about who's a Moor, who's a this, who's Kemetic, who's this. They have a whole television network doing that right now. So I mean, yeah, I don't know, Rich. I love whatever we do, we do. Look, you're with a beautiful Jamaican, half Jamaican woman. Is she disrespectful to you, or she's respectful for you? She love you, right?
Very respectful.
She loves you. Yeah. I have my children mother, two or three of my children mother are baby American people. They love and respect me. So okay, we all gonna have to work this thing out, because at the end of the day, they're not gonna come to you and say, yo, you're FBA, yo, you're. If you want to get reparation or whatever Sabir was saying, and you want to defend that so y'all can get it, but if you're gonna call yourself FBA, I'm telling you, y'all got to go back to the law books, because that's all the reparation society of this world respect. You can't call yourself Black no more. You better stop that Black stuff. Calm that down and find your own indigenous name. Go back to your ancient indigenous name of whatever tribe you came from right here in America. Because why Sabir was saying about all of it being America. Remember, the Caribbeans was called the Organization of American States. It's all America. Canada is America. America is America. South America. All of it's America. But they separated us by tongue and languages and all that. And now we're fighting each other and doing. Tariq did a whole documentary on Maroons of America, but there was Maroons in the Caribbean. There was Maroons over. Come on, man. We got to stop playing around. We got to stop this. Right. Bobby Hemmett said, yeah, it doesn't say nothing about us all coming together. You're right. That person was right, the brother that came on there and was saying that, and they're absolutely right. But we got to stop this, man. It gives me a headache, man. That's why I don't get into too much of this. I could only be honest. And
I appreciate that, King. I really appreciate that, and I love you coming on here. And I'm glad, as a Jamaican brother, coming on here. And I've been to Jamaica several times, and I absolutely love the culture and what Jamaica, and it's like there's something so special about Jamaica and what y'all contributed to the world, and just the energy that y'all represent, that I got a lot of respect for. And it's not just because my girl is half Jamaican, but it's something very special about when you go to that island. So I could definitely respect you saying what you said and what y'all contributed. Like I mentioned Bob Marley earlier, with the reggae and everything like that.
Bob Marley used to live out here. One of his children is born out here. And I'm telling you, if you study, go back, a lot of the producers of Jamaica used to fly to America, like Sir Cox and Dodd used to fly to America to get the old rhythm and blues music and let them sing it over in their own reggae style. I know my history of Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the Cubans, they got the Cubans that used to come over. Anytime you hear those bongos and stuff coming in with Carlos Santana or Ricky Ricardo from Desi Arnaz. That's why he used to do Babaloo on Lucille Ball. They mixed it up. We were family. Go listen to Felipe Luciano from the Latin Kings and all of. They knew their history. The Zulus and the 5%. I was part of the 5% nation. And one time we was fighting against each other. 5% was going against the Zulus, or we was going against the Latin Kings. Come on, man. They're going to keep us putting us in this separation dumb bag. And they're afraid of us to come together. And you know that. I know that. They're afraid of us. And they're going to keep on pushing a Tariq in the way he's doing it. But I respect what Tariq is doing for that identification. But I don't respect the so-called tether. You know what tether means? When you call somebody a tether in the dictionary? In the dictionary, a tether means tie an animal with rope or chain so as to restrict its movement. You ain't calling me no goddamn tether. I'm not an animal. I'm not an animal. And I wouldn't call an American or FBA a tether. The only thing, don't call us tether, because somebody's going to look it up and say, yo, you calling me an animal? And then somebody blood clot going to go come out and just shut up everybody. And that's how that thing can work. And we don't want to hear no more of this death. We don't want to see people get killed. We don't want to see that, especially black people keeping up. Yeah, go look it up. If you don't, go Google it up. I'm looking at it right now. I Googled it up right now. What tether means?
You know, usually this is the thing, King. Usually people have their own definitions when they come up with certain terms. So I'm just letting you know from what I know.
Yes, sir.
They're saying that, and I've heard, and I listen to Tariq's. I listen to his show. I try to catch at least once a month. So, you know, I like a lot of his talking points, especially with the Democrats' political season. He was like, he was doing his thing. And when it comes to tethered, one thing I noticed he said was that it's somebody who tries to undermine the progress of Black Americans.
Okay, that's a new definition.
Yeah, it's new definition. So I don't want to say that it's the definition that's in the dictionary. And, but you know, that's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother conversation that could take place. But I want you to stay on the line because I am a Black American, or what people would say African American, or foundation, so many different names, and you're Jamaican. Right. So I would love for we got two different you know, lineages on the line, both melanated, both coming from the same, you know, the whatever. But I want to get to we're gonna do about
my split, bro. I'm like my sage. I'm like my blood class sage for this. Come on,
but this is what I'm saying. Listen, King, this is what I'm saying. Like, listen, you know how like Black Americans would be like, King. Black Americans would be like, yo, jocking our style, whatever. Like in Jamaica, there's such a unique style that somebody tries to emulate it. We know y'all trying to be Jamaican. So if somebody goes like this, like y'all so exaggerating, right? You gotta love Jamaica, like
Rich. Even when you see people with locks, it was Jamaica that popularized it. Bro, everybody, Lord Jamal used to have locks. My man Hakeem Green used to have locks. KRS-One had locks. All these guys in the hip hop world having locks.
I know about Jamaica, bro. I know.
Come on now.
I ain't taking that away from y'all. Y'all got it going on.
We gonna fight for hours too, son. We gonna fight for hours. Wait up.
I know, King.
Ganja.
King, I know, King. I know. Trust me, I know. Shout out. Listen.
Go ahead. Man. Bring on the next person, man. Let's have some fun.
Let's keep
on the next person. I'm here.
Shout out, King. That's my brother right there, man.
I'm about love.
He's representing where he's from. That's what's up. No, represent where you're from. Let's get to Author Bickle. Can you hear me, my brother?
Peace. Can you hear me?
Hey, what's going on? Yes, I do hear you, my brother. What is your opinion on this topic that we have in tonight, my brother?
So
I need honesty.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I didn't switch anything around, but the intensity, because once I heard Sabir come on and he brought levity to it, where he spoke about his son.
Yep.
Right?
Yes, he did.
I've had people in my family murdered by black folks. By black people. Both my parents are black. Both my parents were born here, right? But my grandmother on my mother's side, I remember when I was young, and I'll always remember this. She did the family tree, and she showed me it went all the way back to West Africa. I'm not going to discredit that, because out of all the people I've met, and I believe I put it in your chat as well. I put it in that I was a ex-Hebrew Israelite. You can never be ex anything in terms of that, because that's when you know the history of black people. If you want to say black people, let's just do quotations with that. We've been everything. We've been Jews, we've been Muslims, we've been Christians. We're the original of everything. Right? The brother Sabir said something very poignant. When I first started hearing FBA, right? Foundational Black American, I heard it from Tariq, right? But it's true that Dr. Claude Anderson was speaking about the same, not speaking about the exact same thing, but he was speaking more in terms of powernomics, how we can bring our money together and be just as powerful as these other subgroups like the Jewish man, like the Asian man, like the East Indian man. How is it now that this is turned into a thing of you funky Africans or you funky Haitians and all this discrediting other melanated people
Exactly.
that are going through the exact same BS to white folks? Like how are we now in the argument that I hear so many FBAs say is, well, listen to the way they talk about us. Listen to the way that FBAs talk about other FBAs. I've grown up in the black community. I was talked down like trash because of my complexion.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because both my parents being in my household, I was talked down like I was a white boy.
Right.
Discriminated against, beat down, all that shit.
Right.
What bothers me about this is, and everyone said it, what are these white folks thinking?
Exactly.
You got white nationalists in different subsects. You got the neo-Nazis, you got the founding fathers, or whatever the hell they want to call themselves. All these white men and women that you don't even know because they wear masks.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, what we talking about? We talking about Pat Poose and Remy Ma. We talking about what Fat Joe's talking about.
Exactly.
We're talking about a bunch of nonsense. How many of us are ready for war? How many of us are ready for the get down? Are we just talking about we ready for the get down?
Exactly.
It's not really ready for shit. And I know it. Excuse my language, brother. I know it because I actually train. And you know how I know this? I'm the only brother in there training. Meanwhile, I'm training with police officers, white police officers. Now, you mean to tell me they ready for some shit, but we ain't? I don't want to hear about this genetics nonsense. Genetics don't mean a damn thing. There's enough videos. Let me tell you something. That white boy that just got off for murdering the brother on the subway station.
Penny. Yeah. What's the name? Daniel Penny or something? Yeah.
Something to that effect.
Yeah.
You know what he did to that brother? He put him in a rear naked choke. You know how easy it is to get out of that?
Yep.
It's very easy to get out of that shit.
Yes,
but
it is.
You can't get out of it if you've never wrestled in your life.
If you've never been trained.
If you've never done jujitsu. If you've never done these things, you will get murdered by one of these white boys that's been doing it since they were 6. And you will have no excuse except,
Hey.
What?
Hey.
White supremacy? Ain't no white supremacy.
That's right.
It's nonsense. We got to stop using these BS words talking about, like Sabir said, it's in the language. I started calling you Brother Rich because the metaphysical knowledge that you bring onto your channel, and I so much appreciate that. I so much appreciate that because let me tell you something. I say that I'm ex-Hebrew Israelite, and this is the other thing I was going to get to. I don't want to give this cat any fame because he's a monster. Brother Polite, he's a monster. I'm sorry, I don't want to drag people down, but if you touch kids, you're a monster.
That's right.
You're a monster. Right? I was in the Hebrew Israelite community, and I also used to when they I'm not gonna say the group's name, but I've been around enough of this pro-blackness to know that everybody that's in it is not in it.
That's true.
Everybody talking about how proud they are to be black or proud to be Muslim, proud to be Jew, Israelite, they are faking the funk. Since the end of the true Black Panther Party, we've had nothing. Well, let me not say the Black Panther Party. I'd say Khalid Muhammad was murdered.
Yes.
We've had nothing but a lot of co-conspirators. We've had nothing but a lot of agents within the community.
Yep.
I could honestly say that if you want to be honest about it, and see what makes me so upset about this whole thing. I'm sorry, I'm going everywhere with it.
Yeah, we got. We're about to end this, so you can't be too much longer, brother. Let me ask you this real quick because I don't want to just cut you off. But what before you get out of here, brother? What are you offended? But there's a reason why I'm asking this. by the idea of blacks who are indigenous to this land asking for reparations. Does that bother you?
No, I think that there should be something, but look at the state of black people in this country.
Yeah.
You remember the Dave Chappelle skit?
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely.
Let me tell you something. Black people are completely lost at this point in time.
Yeah.
Not all of us.
A majority of them. Majority.
I'm not even going to say a majority of us, because to say that you're speaking into existence, I'm not going to say a majority of us are. But what I do recognize is we are constantly looking at these devices,
right,
and they are hypnotizing us to whatever they want us to think.
That's true.
We have lost a sense of ourselves, lost our soul, lost our creativity, lost our spirit. I think if they were to give us anything,
we'll give it back.
We'd give it completely back.
Give it right back.
And that would be the icing on the cake. Them white nationalists to do what they want to do in terms of the final solution with us. And there's only going to be a few of us that are willing to fight, that are able to fight.
That's right.
So it's a slippery slope when we talk about reparations. I think there should probably be something like that.
Arthur, listen, I'm going to get to, I got about 15 more minutes here, so I appreciate your call, my brother. I'm going to get to the next one, brother. Thank you so much, Arthur. All right. Peace, my brother. Let's get to Sincere Love the God. Sincere, do you hear me, my brother?
Peace.
Peace, family. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, Sincere. What is your thoughts on this conversation we having here tonight, my brother?
Man, it's been going in so many different directions. I've had many thoughts, but I guess where I'm coming in at, you just asked the brother the question about reparations, and a lot of times you hear this thing from other black people, and it kind of disturbing when you hear it from other black people about, if you give black people reparations, they just gonna go buy rims and jewelry and gold teeth and fried chicken, and they're gonna give all the money right back. You know who doesn't believe that that's what will happen? The white supremacists, the ones who control society. If they thought that that's what was going to happen, they would just cut the check and get it over with. But they understand that we are the people, foundational Black Americans specifically, we are the people that make lemons out of lemonade. You know what I'm saying? We take nothing and make something out of it. That's been our history. Talk about the state that we're in now. Look at the state that we were in right after antebellum slavery. We came off of the plantation, and within 30 years, we cut our literacy rate in half. We started building Black Wall Streets all over this nation. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about people who were forced into illiteracy for 300 years. You know what I'm saying? And we were given nothing but the scraps on our back when we came off the plantations. But when we're left to our own devices, what do? We built, because that's who we are. That's what's inside of us. So when some of us get the money and go trick it off, yeah, but that's inconsequential, because reparations is a debt that is owed. So, Brother Rich, if I crash into your car and I cause damage to your car and I cause bodily injuries, it doesn't matter if you're a crackhead. I'm going to have to compensate you for those damages. Now, if you take the money and go smoke crack, that's your business.
Ooh, I like that example, brother. I like that. That's a good one.
Because it's a debt. It's a debt. So it doesn't matter what you're gonna do with the money. And I don't have low self-esteem when it comes to my people. Some people are gonna trick the money off, yeah. But I know and understand that there's enough of us that's gonna do the right thing with the money. And I know how to attract like-minded individuals that we can build together. And we will absolutely do that. We're in a whole different time. We're in a whole different era. We got more access to resources if we have the capital to go along with that, to be able to do what we need to do to build a nation within the nation and practice, the group economics and the powernomics and all of the things that we're talking about. That's why this delineation conversation is so important when we're talking about foundational Black Americans. And some people may think it's trivial to get into conversations about, who created hip hop and who's responsible for this, that, and the third. Those conversations are very important, because that's the beginning of ethnocide, when you allow people to start erasing your cultural contribution. You know what I'm saying? And so Dr. Anderson refers to it as ethno aggregation. So us identifying ourselves and our unique history here, just like everyone else does, because everyone does it. You know what I'm saying? We can get into the ancient history, and I come from the 5% nation. We don't understand that the black man is God. That has nothing to do with your nationality, your ethnicity, your religion. That has nothing to do with none of that. The black man globally is God. So we don't understand that. We're the original man. But everybody has their own unique history. Everybody has their own unique heritage. And so when other people have West Indian Day parades and Puerto Rican Day parades and all of that, and they celebrate their uniqueness, it's fine. But the minute that us Black Americans start to do the same thing, because we've never done it, we're the only ones that always looked at global blackness and we all went in the same, and you know what I'm saying? But the problem is that has weakened us and worked against us. So now when we start to say, hold on, let's slow down here. Let's start to look inward and circle our wagons around our own uniqueness. You know what I'm saying? So that we can get ourselves together, and then we can take our show on the road. You know what I'm saying? But first we got to get ourselves together. We've been putting the cart before the horse as far as that's concerned. And so the minute we do that, now it's divisive.
But let me ask you a question. We don't have in Harlem, we don't have no problem. We have the African American parade in Harlem.
Yeah, nothing wrong. Yeah, understandable. And the thing is this too. It's not about. You mentioned the term tether.
Right. A dictionary meaning. I don't know the new connotative meaning. I don't know what that is. I know the dictionary meaning.
Right. And it is based on the dictionary meaning. But to take it even further, it became a popular term spawned from the movie Us by Jordan Peele.
Right.
The movie Us by Jordan Peele. The people that were under the ground were referred to as tethers.
Right.
And they looked exactly like the people above the ground. And what were they trying to do? They were trying to undermine them and replace them.
Right.
And so we use it as a slang term in that way, but it is based on that actual definition. But it's not to refer to somebody just because they're an immigrant that makes them a tether.
Right.
A tether is based on your actions. You know what I'm saying? Somebody working to undermine us. Somebody cosplaying as us and pretending to be our spokesperson or representative, like a Barack Obama. You know what I'm saying? Like a Kamala Harris, like a Sheila Jackson Lee, and many of the people within the Congressional Black Caucus who are not from our lineage, but they purport to be spokespersons for us, and they are steady working against us. They're not speaking to our interests. They're working for everybody else against us. So that's why what we're doing with this ethno aggregation and all of that is very important. It's not just a trivial thing about bickering about something minor about who's really black and who's not really black and who started rapping first and all of that. Nah, it's deeper than that when you really get to it.
But sincere, the ignorant amongst us will start a fight with somebody for no reason because they're learning something new, but they don't know how to handle it emotionally. They're doing, and that could cause death in the street because it has happened before in our history.
Well, I understand that, and we've always had those ignorance before we started delineating. We've had people
85%. We always had the 85%.
Right, exactly. And so we're not gonna solve crime and solve racism and all of that with the delineation movement, but it is getting us on code with each other. And I feel as though in a short period of time that we've been doing this, a lot of progress has been made, on the cultural aspect, on the political aspect, you know what I'm saying? And just as an overall group self-esteem, a lot of progress has been made in a short period of time. So I feel like it was the right move and we are on the right track.
Good. And that's why I said, man, let them do it, man, because everybody's trying to do it. And of course, the Caribbeans try to debate and fight reparation in their own way. They're trying to do the same thing. Go ahead, bro. What you saying?
I just want. Do you have any problems with what the brother said? Do you hear anything wrong with or divisive about what the brother Sincere said?
No. But again, when you get on these lines and people are what you call it, keyboard bullies, curse and doing disrespectful stuff, but they won't do it to your face. It's just like Dante Wilder flying out to go beat up on somebody just because he said something crazy. You know what I'm saying? Or Clarissa Shields having to beat up somebody just because she said something crazy. We got to be very careful because we come from the era in New York. We knuckled things up in the 5%. When I was in there, if you didn't know your lessons, you got your ass beat down. If you made a with your lessons, you had your backside beat down. This ain't the era, right? But if there's going to be a revolution and we're going to fight against whoever, we better know whose side we on. Because I know when we came here, when my family came here from Jamaica, my father had to knock out a lieutenant in the Vietnam Army, calling him a nigger. And him and an American soldier was together doing this. And they got thrown out of the military. So we know what it is. And people think that they can't get touched. And that's the problem.
King Simon, you said something very important. You know what I'm saying? We always going to have that 85%. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is, you know, just because it's only 5% of us, you know, I don't look at it as a minority. I look at it as an elite. You know what I'm saying? We can consolidate that power and really make moves. Because when you look at, you know, white supremacy, right? And I know some people don't like that term or whatever. You know, white supremacy is a term that they came up with, and a system that they came up with to put people that are classified as white in a superior position. Not that they are superior beings, not that they're superior beings and we're inferior, not that they have superior intelligence and we have inferior intelligence, but they are in a superior position in society. That's just the fact of the matter. And so we live under a system of global white domination. If people don't like the word supremacy, we live under a system of global white domination. And all white people don't practice white supremacy. In fact, it's only a minority of them that do.
Right.
But they still are the most powerful people on the planet. So it doesn't take everybody. It just takes enough of us.
That's right. That's right. Just like the Prophet Muhammad. There was like 300 of us. 300.
Sincere, man. I appreciate your call, my brother.
Thank you, yo, brother Rich, man. I love what you do, man. You always ask great questions, man. Peace, King.
Thank you, my brother. King. All right. Let's keep it moving. Shout out to that brother Sincere.
That was good. Yeah, I like that, bro.
We got like Ditso
Latam.
Admin, Latam or whatever. Ditso, what's going on? Can you hear me?
You're on mute. On mute.
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, yeah.
LATAM stands for Latin American.
Latin America, right?
Hey. Okay, Latam. Ditso Latam. What is your thoughts on the conversation tonight? Fat Joe, foundational Black Americans, and everything else, my brother.
Well, I like to talk with documents in hand. My opinion is, I just put a link there. If you could share it real quickly.
He put a document in the private chat, Rich.
Mm-hmm.
CARICOM. Yeah, that's what I was like. CARICOM was one of I remember CARICOM. Exactly.
So I'm gonna be very simple on this.
Right.
One, America is a continent with 33 nations that are represented in the Organization of American States, and that are the 3 countries in North America, 7 countries in Central America, 12 countries in Caribbean, and 12 countries in South America.
Right.
Currently, the population or Afro-descendancy population in Latin America, out of 656 million population in all Latin America, is 150 million people, more than doubles that of the United States. A year and 5 months ago, the CELAC in Europe, in Belgium, gave the following declaration that you could see I'm posting on the private chat. This declaration on its 10 points out of 20 points reads, and I quote, "We acknowledge and profoundly regret the untold suffering inflicted on millions of men, women, and children as a result of the transatlantic slave trade. We underline our full support to the related principal elements contained in the Durban Declaration and Programme of Action." I can talk about that in some other time.
Right.
Including the acknowledgement that slavery and slave trade, including the transatlantic slave trade, were appalling tragedies in the history of humanity, not only because of their abhorrent barbarism, but also in terms of their magnitude, organized nature, and speciality, their negation of the essence of the victims, and that slavery and slave trade are a crime against humanity. CELAC referred to the CARICOM 10-point plan for reparation justice, or etc. So, in very simple terms, this conversation of reparations has been ongoing for the past 200, 250 years since we became independent, and for the past 545 years since we were invaded by the Europeans here in the Western Hemisphere. 2, reparations has to be paid initially because of the transatlantic slave trade, has to be paid by all Europe, all 40 some odd nations in Europe. They owe us.
Mm-hmm.
That means Portugal, Spain, France, England, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
3rd,
Mm-hmm.
there's also an internal reparations necessity once the countries became independent.
Mm-hmm.
And the United States gives a very exemplary notion of this,
Mm-hmm.
which is, as soon as we became independent, the majority of countries in Latin America and Caribbean abolished slavery through the constitutional means, right on the get-go. United States, alongside Cuba and Brazil, were the last 3 countries to abolish slavery in the Western Hemisphere, aka America, aka North, Central, South, and Caribbean. And the reason Brazil and Cuba was because Cuba did not become independent until 1888.
Mm-hmm.
And Brazil became independent on 1825, abolished slavery, but it took 60 years for that abolishment to manifest itself.
Yeah, to the alignment, right. Mm-hmm.
So United States was the only country, once it became independent, it did not abolish slavery. So on that, you have, as U.S. citizens, the right to reclaim everything that happened after independence. Everything that happened before independence, the reclamations has to go to Europe. This is the essence of conversation that it seems that North American Afro-descendancy, blackness, whatever you fucking want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
is focused mainly on the exceptionalism. It seems that the only valid blackness in Western Hemisphere, aka America, aka North, Central, South, and Caribbean,
Mm-hmm.
for all intents and purposes, it seems that the only valid one is the one born in the United States, whilst their population is the lowest versus that of Latin America, having centers like Jamaica, Haiti, Barbados, Brazil, Colombia, Costa Rica, and so many other places that had more injection of blackness into their cultures. In the matters of hip-hop, sure, hip-hop in English, sang in English, originated in the Bronx. But in Spanish, French, and Creole was originated throughout the whole Latin America.
Let me ask you a question, because some people may be confused about what you're talking about.
Right.
In terms of the conversation tonight with Fat Joe, in the conversation of foundational Black Americans, what do you think about the idea of Fat Joe saying that foundational Black Americans are not the creators of hip hop?
One, Fat Joe is from as a Boricua, Puerto Riqueño, from Puerto Rico, right? Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. He's a U.S. citizen. For the past 100 and some odd years, anybody born in Puerto Rico is a U.S. citizen. So if he has that notion of how colonialism has impacted, the U.S.-based colonialism has impacted Puerto Rico, and everything that entails, then you would have to recognize that Boricuas living in New York were part of that movement of hip-hop and were in that whole scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say something and clearly. The bullshit categorization of ethnical groups in the United States is backwards, just like your measuring system. In other words, while the whole world is trying to catch up and doing the things in a better sense, like, for example, measuring in kilometers instead of miles, your country got stuck in your own ways and pretends that we have to live under their own standards. We don't.
Where are you located right now?
I'm in San Jose, Costa Rica.
In Costa Rica. Oh, he's where 7 Beaumarts.
Yeah, bro. Look, you're from Jamaican heritage. Much of the blackness,
Jamaican and Cuban. Right,
much of the blackness in Costa Rica originated from Jamaica. The slaves were brought from Jamaica to the Caribbean coast, aka Limon. So there's a lot of connection from there. I travel a lot to Jamaica. I go by boat. It's only about 1,100 kilometers from the coast of Caribbean to Jamaica by boat. I do that trip every year. It takes me by boat. It takes me a couple days to just get there.
I shared your links in the chat because it has a lot of information, and I that's I see where he's coming from that perspective. Good, another perspective.
Hey, listen, we got to get to one more call before we get out here, but I appreciate your call, my brother.
Thank you, man.
Pura vida. Peace,
my brother. We're gonna get to one more call before we get out of here. We got the next one on the call is John.
You got an intelligent audience, Rich. You got an intelligent audience,
Crawford. Jonathan, real quick, what's your thoughts? We about to get out of here, my brother. Damn, I've been on here 2.5 hours. What are your thoughts on the conversation tonight, real quick? Nothing too long-winded. What's your thoughts?
Go ahead, John.
My brother.
Well, it's been all over the place. But as far as Fat Joe and his comments, I mean, I think that hip hop, you gotta say it belong to everybody. You can try to delineate, but that's hard to do, And furthermore, sometimes we have more.
Would you say reggae belongs to everybody?
You
got to think about it. That you got to think about it. Okay, that says everything. You already answered the question, though. Okay, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. So, are you asking me that? Does it belong to everybody?
Yeah. That's what I'm asking you. Does reggae?
I believe. Well, I have to say that I think Bob Marley would want it to belong to everybody. I'll say that.
The message. You absolutely.
But you see the difference? He said hip hop belonged to everybody. I asked him about Reggae King. He said, "Well,
Well, yeah, I mean,
this is what we're talking about, King. This is
what's so funny. Jonathan, in all truth, Jamaica was conquered by Spanish and then the English, and we didn't even keep the Latin music, but we incorporated a lot of the drums from out of Africa and still use that to this day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, but hip hop has its own. It is its own.
Yeah, that question struck me. That's why Rich struck me with that. Yeah, you beat me in the head with that, Rich.
I'm going to run for you, Jonathan. I got a bun.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, Jonathan.
But what I would like to get across is that we have to have we have compassion. We just got to get the comprehension with it. Right. I mean, as you can see how the chat was tonight, everybody was, so quick to make move and judgment, because of the compassion they had behind whatever ideals they had. But that really doesn't work if we don't all comprehend what's really going on. If you really want to move something, it's got to be in accordance with something. And I mean, I kind of feel like we're like children, just playing in the playground with no real direction, that the teacher just let us go, and we're just out there. So that kind of sums it up what I had to say. But, the conversation's so over the place, I really can't nail it down. But we should all be proud of where we come from, and if someone's opinion about you, as Sabir said, he said he is his own man. Right. So, he himself. So a lot of people looking to follow somebody, a lot of people want to follow. Well, what is your idea, Sabir? And then they want to follow his thing. But until you realize who you are, you really can't, how you going to help somebody if you're following them. If you're following them, you want to be a part of, you want to help out what's going on. But if you don't even realize who you are, what does it mean? I don't know how I sound. That might sound crazy, but
no, it sounds like you're contributing to the conversation. I appreciate your call, my brother. I'm gonna do, because I want to get a sister on here. One last call from a sister. Thank you for the call, Jonathan. All right, my brother.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Let's. I want to close it out on the sister. We got Letitia Portlock. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I do hear you, Queen. What's your thoughts, real quick? You're closing it out on the conversation being had tonight.
Well, I just appreciate you letting me in on the call. I've been trying to get in contact with you for the longest time. Hip hop does belong to everybody, though. We let Eminem be the #1 rapper. We let him do that. So if we can't create something our own and let it be our own, then it does belong to everybody.
Got you.
That's how I feel about it.
Got you. Okay,
and it's
great.
A lot of different versions. We got the gangster rap. We got conscious rap. We got so many different versions of it. So when you asked him about reggae doesn't belong to everybody because they didn't give it away. We gave our stuff away. We give everything away.
Wow. Well, why do you?
They got YouTube.
Why do you think we give it away? What you said they didn't give it away. Why do we give it away and everybody else doesn't give it away?
I don't know why they give it away, but if you look at YouTube, they show you how to do our hair. They show you how we dress. They give everything away. So they even give the word where people call each other nigga. Everybody can use that word. So everybody can use hip hop.
Okay. Hey, listen, let me ask you this before you get out of here. What's your thoughts on the topic of because this is another topic that surrounds when people mention foundational Black Americans, and that is of reparations. What's your thoughts on reparations and foundation?
Well, because we're all mixed up now, it's so many different things. How can you repair something that's been broken for so long? We divided, we fall. If we don't come together, how can we, you know what I'm saying? How can we repair something if we don't come together? We are killing one another every day.
Well, we're not talking about
our
that.
People are killing.
Well, reparations.
You're saying reparations. How can you repair something that's been broken for so long? 85% of the youth are in foster care system. You know, we dropped the ball for a long time, going back and forth about issues that we can't repair because now all of the children are broken. The foundations, there is no big mama anymore. The big mama is at the club, 35 years old. How can we repair something that's been broken for so long?
Got you. Hey,
how old do you think I am?
Hey, I don't want to say.
We ain't doing that with women. We don't do that with women.
Yeah, I don't want to say. I'm not going down that lane. That's
you look good. You look good.
I'm a 70s baby. I've been here for a long time.
Yeah,
I'm good. Our generation dropped the ball.
Yeah,
we didn't do what the generation before us did. We dropped the ball. We still wearing t-shirts and jerseys and tennis shoes. We supposed to put our hard shoes on a long time ago. You know, so a lot of our foundations for the youth is broken.
Indeed.
These kids don't have no grandparents, no fathers. You know, a lot of our parents, we didn't have a father. Now this generation don't have mothers and fathers. We arguing about hip hop. You know what I'm saying? What about these kids is out here in the streets with no foundation, no homes? It's Christmas Eve. You know what I mean? And there's people out here that don't have no food, no shelter. It's cold outside.
Hey, listen,
that's what I think we should be talking about.
Listen, we're about to get out of here. I appreciate the call, though. Okay, sis?
Peace and love.
Peace and love. Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah, King, I've been on here longer than I thought. Yeah, it's been 2.5 hours. Hey, man, I appreciate you. You always come in and join, do the co-host. You brought the Jamaican vibes. You brought the Jamaican vibes. You had the split.
my hat tilted. We're gonna do it different. You know, one thing I want to say, Rich, you got to remember hip hop has always been about that funky drummer. And the drum came from Akan. So we took some of those elements out of every place and we innovated and made and created. They created the brothers, the foundational brothers and sisters out here created hip hop. Just like Jamaica took the drums and all that and created the reggae. Everybody do. They take a little bit and then they refine it and make it for themselves. And that's all. That's why I say, give it to them. It's theirs. Let them have it. I don't care about that. Hey, but I love you, man. Thank you, man. Radio Rich.
So, yo, King, I always love your perspective. Tell the people, because you're one of the best in the world when it comes to numerology. How can they? We still got about 2,000 people in the chat. How can they reach out to you for a numerology reading, my brother? Oh, right there. Oh.
For a session, you text me at 347-496-1022. Text me your full name, your first name, middle name, and last name, and your birthday with an email, and I will send you the details. Hey, you want to do it before January 1st? You can do it. I got four slots left in December, but my January is filling up. You know, I'm glad from the time I did your show back in the day, I had to catch up. And I was still doing.
Wow.
It's still coming in.
Wow.
But man. Family, what I do is ancient indigenous and it's ancient African together, because at one time the landmass used to be together, and we are the founders of mathematics. Don't let nobody fool you. People, indigenous and African, all of us are paying attention to cycles, patterns, and sequences. But Rich, thank you very much for allowing. You need to call Lord Jamal and just bring him on, man. Let's have some fun with Lord. That's your birthday twin, man. Bring him on. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, indeed. Hey, King, thank you so much, my brother. Happy holidays to you and your family.
Happy holidays to you. Peace and love.
All right, peace, my brother. Peace, family. I will see y'all. I'll be back Thursday. All right, family. See y'all then. Enjoy the holidays, holy days, whatever y'all do. I will see you next